Stadium, October the 16th, 2009. It's Friday Night Football on LSC, your local sports channel.
Well, hello there, Paul. Welcome to Darling Stadium. Mike Hauser along with Paul Rowe here, getting ready to set to have the wet game on Friday evening between the 3-2 and 3-2 Hampton Crabbers and the Bethel Bruins. Both teams equally tied in the district and overall, 4-2 overall, as the Crabbers come in here and will be playing the Bethel Bruins, who are hosts tonight. So what do you think, Paul? What do we have in store tonight?
Well, other than the cold, rainy weather, I hope we've got a good game. Mike, if history's an indicator, then we are going to have one whale of a game. 2 years ago, Bethel shut out Hampton 7-0 for its first win since 1993 against Hampton. Last year's matchup was an exciting contest in which Hampton prevailed by a score of 23-21. We're talking about a 2-point game here. This game should be just as close as those games were. Now, Bethel comes into this contest with the #1 offense in the district. They run to the tune of 153 yards per game, and they throw at 183. But the big number is the 41 points they put up on the board. Hampton also has a good offense. They're the #4 offense, but it's not that much off from Bethel's. The Crabbers average 130 yards rushing and 145 passing. And when it comes to points, they too put them up, Mike, 38 points per game. Now, statistically, this should be a fairly even game on offense. Defense is where there might be a little bit of difference. Bethel and Hampton are ranked 2 and 3 when it comes to defense based on points allowed per game. Crabbers give up 15.5. Bethel gives up 15. Another tight game here. The difference is in the yardage. For some reason, Bethel only allows 177 yards per game, while Hampton 266, Mike, on defense. And yet both of them are able to hold the scores down to 15 points per game. Mike, it's been a rough year so far for both of these teams. Hampton lost to Warwick for the first time in years and then came up short against Woodside. Bethel started the year with a loss against Kecoughtan, and last week they lost to Woodside. At 3-2, both teams need this win.
Well, one of the things you talked about on defense was the yardage that each team happens to be given away per game, and that was the main disparity between all the teams.
Right.
Well, between both teams. And I guess Coach Smith has the philosophy, we're going to bend but not break. So that's allowing them to go up and down the field without any problems. And then when they get in the red zone, they tighten up and do a good job, where Bethel seems to have do a better job at this point, stopping and limiting the total yards from not giving that bend and break philosophy. Let's send it down to the field where Brent has one of the coaches tonight, and we'll let Brent interview the Bethel head coach.
Okay, thanks, guys. Got Mike down here. Mike, first of all, you got probably one of the youngest teams you've had over at Hampton. In fact, you started 2 freshmen first ball game.
May have the youngest team anyone's ever had in this district, but they're a great group of kids. We've enjoyed them. They're plugging along, doing a good job.
Your philosophy is to get better every week, and it looks like you guys are getting a little more confidence in themselves and getting better every week.
Well, I think, our philosophy is you got to get better every day. You're never going to play at the same level. You're either going to get a little better or a little worse. I think they've improved, and it's kind of like with experience, as they get a little bit more adapt to the game and the situations. Our problem was, I think, early on more than anything is just calling the right defense. We've had to make some changes in the people making those calls, and done a little better job.
I've watched you play 3 or 4 games this year, and I'm so impressed with David Watford. That young man is really developing quite a leader on the field.
Well, I don't know about that now. I'm going to disagree with you about that. I love David Death. He's a great kid. But the leader on this team is Dion Futch. David's done a good job, but the leadership goes to Dion. He's the guy that's on both sides of the ball that's providing this leadership. David's going to be a really good quarterback one of these days. He's like the rest of us. He's still learning day to day.
Well, I was talking about Dion. Now, he's scored 5 different ways, and I got to thinking the only other guy that did that was Ronald Curry, but Ronald also kicked an extra point.
I'm not sure about that. I think Marcus Hagan probably did it, too. I think Marcus Hagan scored every way Ronald Curry ever scored. He was just a lot younger when he did it,
Yes, he was.
Marcus Hagan didn't turn 17 years old till December the 29th, his senior year in high school, so he played at, 16, 15, 14, and 13, so.
Right.
But I think that the 2 of those guys, Futch and Marcus, are You can compare them pretty well. I think Markin a little stouter, Futch maybe a little bit faster, but both of them's quickness and being able to adapt to situations was awfully good.
You think the field will make any difference with the running tonight?
I don't see the field at this point unless it comes a downpour. The footing seems relatively stable out there at this time. So maybe the ball getting a little wet and a little messy may dictate a few things that you change. But other than that, I think the footing's going to be okay.
All right, one final question. You're playing a team that always had a rivalry with you since they started in 1968 when Bowling Shoop went over there from Hampton, went over to Bethel. So this team in Hampton has always been a rivalry. What do you expect from them tonight? I know they play a lot of different things. He throws 3 wideouts and all kinds of different screens and stuff, but do you think he's going to change because of the weather, Mike?
I don't know. I don't believe you can change all that in 3 days' time. If you can, he's a better man than I am. I don't think you don't change horses in the middle of the stream, and you certainly don't try to change this year. But actually, Bowling Shoop went over in 1969, and
That's right.
that was 69. He was with us in 68 because we played Prince of Sand in the regional championship. But as far as tonight, I expect he's probably going to run the ball a little bit more. But he's still going to throw it. The kid, I'm sure, can throw. This is in the rain. It's not that wet. As long as keep the balls dry, he'll be fine.
Well, good luck to you tonight, Mike.
Thanks.
Always a pleasure.
Well, it's great to be here. Hey, I'm just glad to be above the ground.
Good enough. All right, guys, let's go back up to you.
All right, thanks, Bob. Obviously, we apologize because we thought that Brent was coming on first, so that was Bob with Mike Smith. Well, Paul, we talked a little bit about the offenses at the top of the start of the show here, and let's talk a little about the running game. Both teams have very able running backs playing for them this year.
They really do, Mike. Both teams' running attacks, of course, are a far cry from where they were last year with Tron Martinez and John Tell Evans. But Hampton does average 130 yards per game, with DeQuan Charity leading the Crabber attack with 51 attempts for 277 yards, 46 yards per game. Dion Futch chips in with another 21 yards per game, so Hampton is well covered in the running attack. Bethel churns out 153 yards per game and uses a stable full of running backs. Reggie Saunders leads the group with 46 touches and 276 total yards, a 46-yard per game average. And Bennett and Rashad Manley kick in with 27 yards apiece. And when you look into numbers, Mike, overall, they're very, very similar.
Yeah, sure, certainly looks that way. Well, let's send it down back to the field where Brent now has Coach Jeff Nelson of the Bethel Bruins.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with head coach Jeff Nelson of Bethel Bruins. A lot of teams tied at the tops, Coach. It looks like a jailbreak almost. You got 5 teams tied for 3rd place, 2 of them meeting here tonight. Last week I came over and saw your game, and it's the most amazing game I've seen in a long time. 2 teams moving up and down the field, offense all over the place. A couple of turnovers really hurt you, turned you back against Woodside. It kind of cut you down. So where I was going with all this is when you got the kids back on the bus and got them back to the school, what happened after that game? Because there was just so much happening.
We went down. We got off the bus. We headed back down to the practice field, and we just talked about things. There was a lot of little things that we needed to take care, and we didn't do it in the game. So we talked about it on Saturday night when we got back, and then on Monday we went back to work.
And when you say you went back to work, game over, you focus on the next game?
Yep, because that's the only thing you can do. I mean, you can't dwell on the past. You just got to get ready for the future.
And speaking of that, what do you see in this game tonight? I see 2 similar teams. We've talked about that. What do you think?
It's the same thing. Hampton's always going to come out well coached and prepared, and we're just hoping we can give them a game tonight.
Well, Coach, talking about your quarterback, he was able to throw the ball pretty well, a couple of drop balls. How do you see as he's come along? He's a senior.
He's come along well for us. He's starting to pick up the system pretty good, and we got to get those balls caught and make sure we don't tip them up in the air. And we worked at that on this week, and we worked tackling and everything else. But he's doing a good job for us.
Well, as I said, my last question to you: these teams on paper, y'all pretty much have a lot going on. Maybe a few more receivers on your side. What do you see the matchup between you 2 tonight?
Well, I'm just saying, it's going to be a good football game. I mean, I just think, it's 2 well-coached teams, and, it could go either way. And it's just going to wait to see after 48 minutes is up and see who's taking the battle.
As you always say, you just tee it up, and no matter what the weather is, and let her go. Coach, I want to thank you so much for taking the time. Look forward to seeing you again after this. Good luck tonight. Guys, here it is, back up to you. Just like you said, you throw it all in the wind. Let's see what happens in the end. Thanks, guys.
Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Zooms. We're proud to have David Allen and Zoom sponsoring us again this year. Zooms, with locations throughout the peninsula to serve you. By Kelly's Tavern, family dining with 2 locations on the peninsula, Port Warwick off Jefferson Avenue in Newport News, and their newest location on Coliseum Drive at Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. And by Tidewater Team Sports, located at 11839B Cannon Boulevard in Oyster Point, Newport News. Tidewater Team Sports is your one-stop sports headquarters for screen printing, embroidery, uniforms, and apparel. Call 594-0411 and talk to David Chubb or Terry McNamara. And in part by Beach Hardware, located at 1951 East Pembroke Avenue in the Buckrow Shopping Center. Beach Hardware is your friendly local hardware store with everything you need to maintain your home, both inside and out. And by Eric Thompson, Realtor. Contact Eric to buy or sell a home or property. Give Eric a call at 685-3127 or email him at eric@findhrhomes.com. And by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, located at 2551 North Armistead Avenue. Nancy Staten, Director.
Here we are back at Darling Stadium. I got my buddy Bob Hintz with me. Couldn't play golf all week, so we've both been miserable.
Miserable.
But we've been looking forward to this game. It's a traditional rivalry, as everybody knows. It goes on forever. Coach Nelson's first time you played Mike Smith, you beat him, which is a rare thing.
Yes, it is.
I think he lost last year, and then here we come in with 2 teams tonight, Bob, that are identical on the chart, both tied for third place, both lost to Woodside. Completely different ways of losing to Woodside, but we'll see how that plays out.
Well, Hampton's still got to play Kickotan, which Bethel's already played, and both of them got to play Phoebus. But this series goes back to 1969. Mike and I were talking. I thought it was 68, but it's 69. The series 31-9-1 Hampton. They've won 15 of the last 16 games. They're not an easy team to beat.
No, Hampton's the same guy's been there, the same crew's been there. New faces come in, as we all know, and the training is the same. You get better players, and more happens with them. You get players that aren't so good, he's still able to mold them and make them a great team. So that's what you're talking about, Hampton. Now they got a new coach here at Bethel, hoping to turn things around after some years, and he's done it. He's won, but he's beat Hampton already. This is almost a rematch. I think they're 1-1 since he's been here.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this goes. I know the athletic director, Ray Smith, is hoping things will turn around a little bit, because he keeps talking about it.
Yeah, Ray is, a good old buddy of both of ours. We like Ray Smith, and he would like nothing better than in a 3-year period have two wins against the Hampton Crabbers. But one thing that I think that Bethel does that it hurts them is that they're susceptible to the big play. We saw that especially in the Woodside game, but it also was in the Kickotan game. You can't turn the ball over or give up big plays. Well, some of the things that Bethel does, they run 3 wideouts. They got 2 young men that both of them are real good, Walker, and the other young man is Parker. One of them's got 2 TDs, the other 6 TDs, so they can catch the ball. But tonight, the ball's going to be wet, going to be a little harder to throw.
Well, that's what I'm anxious to find out. With the weather the way it is, both teams have a good runner.
Yeah.
And, of course, we know about Futch. If that running game's not there, and this has happened to both teams before, they've had to go to the air. And as Coach Nelson said to me earlier, those short dink passes may be the one that makes a difference in weather like this.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to give up the big play. And, of course, Mike Smith has scored a lot of points off big plays this year, if you take a look.
Well, they really have. Now, talking about Bethel again, they run 3 wideouts. Well, when they do the 3 wideouts, they'll run a drag pattern across the middle, which is a short pass, which you're talking about. They run a bubble screen. So they do a lot of things, but on defense, they will play man-to-man, which is going to be tough, especially in this kind of conditions, because if you make a quick move and you're the receiver, that defender can fall down, and there you got one guy on him, and he's gone.
Well, I think, and we're getting around to summing it up, you hit on the key issue. Weather like this, people always like to say that the advantage goes to the offense. He knows where he's going to make his cut.
That's
He knows
right.
where the ball's supposed to come down. Same thing on the line. He knows when he's coming off the ball, does he get an advantage? We're going to see how that plays out tonight both ways because they both go offense, defense. So why don't you sum it up and send it back to the guys upstairs?
All right, the thing I got to talk about is I talk about every week, in the trenches. Whoever wins the line of scrimmage is going to win this ball game. I don't care if it's on defense or offense. If you can control that line of scrimmage, you're going to win this ball game.
Well, Bob, I think that's it, guys. We'll send it back up to you. Y'all can tear it apart a little bit more. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Let's talk about. You have some special information that you want to give out right now.
Yes, I do. I want to take this time to thank one of our newest sponsors here at LSC, and that's Coliseum Central. Ladies and gentlemen, Coliseum Central now on board as one of the sponsors for LSC, bringing you Friday night football from the Hampton High School area. Coliseum Central, that's the area along the Mercury and Coliseum Drive corridor. Now it's a section where you can buy almost anything you need. They have stores galore there. And now with the new housing built there, people are going to be able to enjoy it firsthand. Ladies and gentlemen, please visit the Coliseum Central area. The wonderful new stores there anchored by Macy's and Penny's. And I can't remember the name of the bookstore, a huge Target. They've got Five Guys restaurant, the new hamburger place that opened up there. Just a wonderful area. We really appreciate Coliseum Central as one of our newest sponsors, Mike.
And there's their emblem we got there. I tell you what, we talked a little bit about the running game. What do you think about talking about this passing game now? Both these two teams are having a very good year throwing the ball in the air.
Oh, there's no question about that, Mike. And both you and I were talking about this before we went on air. How much is the weather going to affect that? We've come to a lot of games where both teams have good passing games, and you figure with the rain they're not going to pass. And daggone, they kept right on throwing and did a great job.
Well, I'll tell you what, one of the things Mike Smith talked about was he didn't think that the rain, unless it really started raining hard, was going to affect it that much. The only thing that would is if the balls got wet and they started getting, slipping in and out of the hands, which it's raining pretty good out there right now, so, that might be something that's going to occur here soon. Shortly, we will be getting ready to listen to the Hampton Band play the national anthem. So, passing game, a lot of yards.
It is. Let's take a look at the quarterbacks, Mike. Hampton's David Watford is the third-rated quarterback in the district. He's completed 44 of 76 passes for 969 yards in 6 games. He's going at a 162-yard-per-game clip. He has 9 touchdowns and only 3 picks this year, which is very good. In this offense, the Crabbers are just as likely to throw the ball as they are to run the ball. They're very balanced. Bethel's quarterback, Rashad Manley, is the second-rated quarterback in the district. He has completed 65 of 120 for 1,098 yards, breaking that barrier last week. He's putting up 183 yards per game with 10 touchdowns but 12 interceptions. Look for the Bruins to put it up and put it up often. They've got a great stable of wide receivers to get under that ball, Mike. So look for them to stay in the air tonight.
And one of the things that Hampton seems to be doing a lot better of this year is putting the ball up in the air. So it's going to be real interesting seeing how both of these two teams adjust to this weather, because the weather is definitely going to be a factor with it raining like it is now. It's a steady drizzle coming down now, and as we can see in the lights from up here, it's definitely going to interfere with it. So let's now listen to the Crabber Band play the national anthem. All righty. And by the way, that was Hampton's Air Force Junior ROTC with the color guard there. Well, you know, it certainly looks like this is going to shape up to be a good game. You know, the keys to tonight's game, we'll go through that. And what do you think?
There's not a lot of keys to tonight's game, Mike. With all things being as equal as they are, I suspect it's going to boil down to what happens on the line, what happens on defense, and who makes the fewest mistakes in this weather tonight. Both the defenses are tough. Both the offenses throw as much as they run. So the defense that can find a way to stop a balanced attack is probably going to have the advantage, and that advantage is going to come from within the line, like Bob said earlier. In about another hour and a half, at the end of this game, we're going to find out which team had the better game, Mike. It's going to be a good one.
Well, you always have to actually get on the field and play the game for somebody to win it, right?
Do you have to get on the field to do that?
Unless they can flip a coin. I don't think they go that route anymore.
No,
one of these two teams is going to end tonight with a 5-2 record, and the other one's going to drop to 4-3 overall. So this could be is shaping up to be a very good game tonight between the Hampton Crabbers and the Bethel Bruins.
It always has been. We've seen many, many good games between these two teams over the years, and it's just so much fun to be up here in the booth and watch two talented teams.
Well, I can remember back when I went to Hampton, back in the early 70s. Bethel was the main rivalry that the Crabbers had once Newport News High School, the Typhoons, closed the doors. They closed the door. I was a sophomore at Hampton when Newport News High School went away. So,
well, wasn't Bethel the big rival of Hampton because of the fact that when Bethel opened, didn't it pull a lot of the students from Hampton?
That's right. And, you know, back in the early 70s, Hampton was known for having pretty good baseball teams. They had pretty good basketball teams, and they had, I mean, for the most part, you know, you had Kickotan that was 5 or 6 miles away that didn't have the impact of players that Hampton had. And then, of course, later in years, Phoebus was opened up. But when Bethel opened up, that divided the Hampton student population. And you had extremely good baseball and wrestling teams with Coach Cutler when he was there, when I was there. And he moved to Bethel. He went to Bethel when Bethel opened up. So that was like a natural rivalry between the two teams that started then and is really carried on up until, as far as the fierce rivalry, up until probably just a few years ago. Yeah. You know, when the Phoebus Phantoms started playing really well and was doing equally as good as Hampton was at the time. And now, of course, Hampton and Phoebus is a big rivalry. But this is not diminished any at all. This particular game here, they're both tied. They both have the same record, so they both want to win this game.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's going to be a barn burner.
It should, and I can't remember what I think it was Bob was saying earlier that Hampton leads in this series 30-some games to 9, 39-9 with one tie or something. So the rivalry has been around for a good 40 years.
Yeah, for years and years, the game was the last game of the year. They used to have the Hampton-Bethel game played right here at this field on the last day of the regular season. And I can remember a few of them games. They were a lot of fun.
There you see some of the brave fans that have come out to watch the game here at Darling Stadium. You are watching this live on LSC, the local sports channel, bringing you the great game today in cold weather and rainy weather.
Well, I would assume that since there's not a full house here, that the majority of these folks are watching this on TV. And if you are, welcome. As the Bethel Bruin band on the field right now, as they're starting to whoop it up as the team is getting ready to come on the field, and we'll shortly show you the officials for this game as we had them on the camera earlier. And whenever they want to throw that up on the screen, we'll give you the officials for tonight's games. Leading the way, of course, is going to be the referee, and that's Larry Turlington. And here come the Bethel Bruins as they come running on the field as they break through their little sign that they carry to all their games. It's pretty cool.
I think when I was going to school back well before you went, I think the football team just kind of came out and stood on the sidelines.
There's your officials. Larry Turlington is the referee. Alonzo Bell, the umpire. Todd Tucker is the lineman. Tony Krug, the line judge. Tony Brown, the side judge. Charles McGahee is the field judge. And back here as the back judge is Rob Calloway. And he is the gentleman that has to get out of the way of the running backs when they're running up the middle of the field.
Or not. It's his choice, I guess.
Well, I would assume he would be moving out of the way. So as we get ready to do the coin toss, as both the captains are coming onto the field now, we will get set to have a barn burner here at Darlin Stadium. And I tell you what, my keys to this game are the team that has the least amount of turnovers is going to win this game.
Well, actually, I'm going to lean to the fact that at the end of the game, the team that has the most
Biggest
points
score.
up on the board is going to be the winner.
Yeah, okay. But I think turnovers is going to be a major factor in this game because of how wet it is out here. This is not one of those nights that it's actually poured. It's been that type of drizzle all day. Looks like the Bethel Bruins won the toss and deferred to the second half, so the Crabbers will start on offense as we get set to go here at Darlin Stadium. Shortly, we'll give our starting lineups for both the Hampton offense and the Bethel defense.
West End and Field will be kicking off here to start the game. Representing the Peninsula Football Association and referee Larry Turlington. Umpire Alonzo Bell.
While we're waiting for the kickoff, I'd like to recognize our production crew tonight. On the cameras, we have Nate Braxton, Susan Bowers, Gene Wheeler, and Steve Fryer. The graphics and animation is done, as always, by Andy Foley. The slow motion instant replay by Mike Nowinski. The camera control operator, Renee Camden. Production and audio assistant, Renee Camden. And our audio engineer tonight is Mr. Bob Hodges. Thank you, Bob, for being here. The director-producer, as always, the head man himself, Mr. Scotty Bowers. Up in the booth, I'm Paul Rowe, along with Mike Hauser. To my left is Brent Musgrove and Bob Hintz.
And we'll be having Bob join us with a microphone here before too long so he can come in here and have a word or two to say about it.
Why is he not going out on the field tonight? Is it too cold?
No, what's up?
Yeah, Bob just said, I'm going to take your place. You go down on the field. Yeah, I'm taking that to mean, yes, it is cold out there. Oh, ooh.
John Funch is deep in the middle of the field there for the Crabbers. Set to kick off for Bethel Bruins. Thinking that it was Britt Baker.
Oh. Well, we're just a minute or two
89.
away.
So Sean Long is the kicker. He's kicking off for Bethel. Here we go as he slips and falls as he kicks it, and the ball goes out of bounds near the near side to the Crabbers. With the ball going out of bounds, will start 1st and 10 at their own, I believe, 40. Maybe the 35-yard line is where they will start. So Hampton starts 1st and 10 at their own 35.
And here's the Hampton Crabber offense tonight. The tackles, number 53, Quincy Bethea, and number 65, Derek Adams. The guards, number 70, Trey Banks, and 61, Andrew Alston. The center, number 57, Lydell Washington. The wide receiver, number 15, Jamal Brown. The wingbacks, number 2, Daquan Charity, and number 11, Monte Haney. The flexback, number 10, Justin Ricks. The tailback, number 24, Dion Futch. And the quarterback, number 5, David Watford.
Watford starts off in the shotgun. 4 wideouts now as motion man stops. And here goes the other motion man. That's number 7, Ango Graves. And we have a flag on the field already.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's the Bethel defense
Dead
facing
ball.
Hampton tonight.
Hampton.
All start against the Crabbers.
The defensive ends, number 11, Ira Harris, and number 27, Deshaun Thomas. The tackles, number 49, Robert Copeland, and number 90, Michael Artis. The inside linebackers, number 33, Gaston Ledford, and number 4, Devon Hodges. The outside linebackers, number 6, Isaiah Gibson, and number 30, Justin James. The 2 cornerbacks, number 7, Jamal Parker, and number 24, Rio Walker. And the safety, number 43, Alex Payton.
Well, the Crabbers started off with a penalty of motion, and they really could have got another penalty right there with 12 men in the huddle. And they didn't call it, but looks like somebody on the front row, front line there moved for the hand. I tell you what, this is not a good start for the Crabbers.
Dead ball, false start.
That's 2 false start penalties, and now it's 1st and 20.
And Mike, as we were viewing that play live, we had a great shot by one of our camera people right on the 2 people that moved for the Crabbers. As you can see it right there. It was beautiful. Great shot out there, guys. Great shot.
So they haven't started off with a play yet, and they've already been penalized 10 yards. So let's see if the Crabbers can get something going here. Butch on a keeper up the middle, breaks loose for about a 2-yard gain, and that's about it. Looks like they're going to give him a yard. So call it 2nd down and 19.
Watch as Wofford just keeps them himself, goes right off tackle and picks up a couple of yards. Slippery yards, but he got a few.
Yeah, they marked the ball all the way back just outside the 25-yard line. So really, they didn't even give him a yard gain on that, but we'll call it 2nd 19. 3 wide outs to the far side, 1 to the near side. Single set by for the Crabbers. Back to pass is Watford. Over the middle, and it's almost and should have been intercepted by the Bruins number 3, Derek Thomas. It went right in and out of his hands. And there is a flag in the backfield, and there's another penalty against the Crabbers.
Watch this replay. He throws it right to the outside into 2 deep, 3 deep coverage, in and out of the arms of the Bethel Bruins.
It was intended for Dion Fudge of the Crabbers. Incomplete. Let's see what the penalty is here.
I've got a home white. Still 2nd down.
Wow, and that's a penalty that's marked off from the spot of the foul. So they're all the way down to,
what do we do with the clock?
To about the 10-yard line as our referee, ouch, did not turn off his mic. As it is 2nd down and a mile. 2nd and 35 for the Crabbers as they're putting themselves in a pretty deep hole already. Back to passes. Watford over the middle. Ball landed in between the 2 receivers on the far side, incomplete. So 3rd down and 35 now for the Crabbers. I believe the ball was intended for number 7, Jason Mango Graves. It's an incomplete pass.
Well, Mike, we got a little bit bigger crowd than we had. You can see right there on the screen. A few more people coming in to watch this game. I expect a few more people to join us.
They were probably hiding underneath the stands waiting for the game to start. Down there where that good food is. Buying up all that hot chocolate and them hot dogs, I tell you what. All right, 3rd down and 35 for the Crabbers. Watford again back to pass over the middle. It's completed at the 20. Dion Futch, but he's well short of a 1st down, so it's going to be 4th down and like 25 yards for the Crabbers. A gain of 10 on the play.
Crabbers just kind of played a series not too good in terms of penalties here, Mike. They got pushed way back there. It's not a good way to start the game.
Punt, it's short. Ooh. Off to the near side and out of bounds inside of the Crabbers 40. Right at the 41-yard line, so not much on a punt that time.
I'll tell you what, Bethel showed some good defense there, and, of course, they got the advantage of all the penalties at that point, and a kick that was probably induced by the wet weather here. Coming up short is going to put Bethel in great field position.
So the Bethel Bruins take over 1st and 10 at Hampton's 36-yard line. Great field position to start this play. Running on the field there is Brandon Moore.
Don't forget the missing concession stand folks.
Todd Manley, the quarterback for the Bruins, pitches the ball back to number 7 on the play, Jamal Parker. He gets outside and picks up good yardage down near a first down. Looks like he might get about 9 on the play.
Here's the Bethel offense, ladies and gentlemen. At left tackle, number 56, Derek Spivey. The left guard, number 50, Roderick Mason. The center, number 54, Kevin Ricks. Right guard, number 51, Cameron Shern. The right tackle, number 53, Morgan Taylor. The two slots, number 7, Jamal Parker. Number 24, Riho Walker. The wide receivers, number 21, Stephen Clark. And number 3, Derek Thomas. The running back, number 1, Ronnie Saunders. And at quarterback, number 5, Rashad Manley.
Manley hands the ball up the middle to number 36 on the play, Sam Bennett. Good yardage all the way down inside the 10-yard line. Good for a first down. It's going to be first and goal.
All right, the Hampton defense tonight at the two tackles, number 53, Quincy Bethay, and number 65, Derek Adams. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the offense, my fault. The two guards, number 67, Alonzo Towns, and number 75, Kimbrough Parker. The two tackles, number 32, Dallas Coddell, and number 68, Chris Tarrant. The linebackers, number 41, Terrell Miller, and 65, Derek Adams. The defensive ends, number 6, Matt Case, number 42, Kalik Payne. The cornerbacks, number 10, Justin Ricks, number 81, Desmond Jenneret, and the safety, number 24, Dion Futch.
That was Sam Bennett on the carry that time. Pick up a couple of yards on the play. Second down and goal again, this time at about the 5. And, you know, Hampton's having players running on and off the field right now. They're a little confused as to who they're supposed to have in the lineup at the time. Flag on the field by the back judge, and that might be too many players on the field.
I'll tell you, I was impressed the way that Bethel is moving the ball right off the bat. I like that run that we had by number 36, I believe it was Sam Bennett. Big kid just kind of took that ball and rambled right through the middle and got some big yardage on that play, putting Bethel in good field position.
No flag on the play, no flag on the play.
Waved off the flag. Second and goal. At about the 5. Henley to Bennett again up the middle. He's close. He's down to inside the 2-yard line. Make a third and goal from about the 1.5-yard line.
This young man's just putting his head right down, Michael, and taking that ball right up the gut. He's just getting whatever yardage that they'll give him when he runs into him.
And they're doing a no-huddle offense again, as we saw last time we had the Bruins on. This time, Manley on a keeper up the middle. That's good for the score as the Bethel Bruins hit pay dirt first here in the first quarter and now lead 6-0 with 8:11 to go here in the first quarter.
Just under 4 minutes gone in the first quarter. The Bruins make the first score tonight.
So it looks like we've got a Crabber that's down right now, so timeout is called while they wait for the medical staff to come on and check him out. Nice run by Manley.
Yeah, he just took that ball and went right on in. There was no way they were going to stop him. He had plenty of momentum, and he had some good blocks up front. Still tending to the player down on the field. Hope he's going to be all right. Just one thing about rainy weather and cold weather for that matter. You're going to get a lot of slips and slides, and you end up hitting things that you don't want to hit and hopefully not get hurt too bad. But here we've started already, just partway into the first quarter, one man down.
Like it might be his left leg. Or who it is. Two minutes and 7 seconds on that drive for the Bethel Bruins. Started first and 10 from the Crabber 35 yards.
Well, they finally got the player up, Mike, but they're carrying him off the field. That doesn't bode well. You hate to see someone carried off the field. You'd rather they walk off under their own power, but there's evidently something with that knee that they don't want to take a chance on, so they're going to carry that young man off. And they'll tend to him and find out what he needs and take care of that, and I'm sure he's going to be all right, and I hope he will be soon.
Baker on to try for the point after.
Brett Baker, number 99, in to kick the extra point for the Bruins. Kicks up, and it's definitely long enough, and it's good.
Through the upright.
So with 8 minutes and 11 seconds to go here in the first quarter of play, the Bethel Bruins are out in front of the Hampton Crabbers, 7-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching this game live on LSC from Darling Stadium, October the 16th, 2009, on a cool and rainy day, evidenced by the fact that tonight Bob Hintz is not down on the field. So, folks, we can't go down there to get the expert comments from him. And we know that we can't get him up here because he didn't bring his glasses, so he can't see down. Oh, wait a minute. He has binoculars. He has binoculars. Not monoculars. He has binoculars. So we will be able to get some expert information out of Bob tonight, ladies and gentlemen. That makes me feel a lot better. I was worried. Here's that touchdown by the quarterback for the Bruins, number 5, Manley.
Manley kicking off for the Bruins now, Brett Baker, number 99.
Bethel taking advantage of the short punt, getting the ball deep in Crabber territory, taking a few plays to get in. They're ahead 7-0 here with 8:11 to go in the first quarter.
5 plays, that's right.
Wow, that's all?
Deep for the Crabbers is Dion Futch, standing in the middle of the field. This one's pooch kicked and is taken at the 25-yard line. And he breaks a tackle. He's got one guy to beat. He's forced out of bounds, and that looks like number 12 for the Crabbers, Denzel Barnett. So he goes out of bounds, what looks like at about their own 49-yard line. This is where the Crabbers will start their second possession, and let's see if they can keep from having all those penalties that backed them up to start the game.
That was a nice little run, Mike. I was like you as we watched him here on the screen. It looked like he might have broken loose. Denzel Barnett, a senior, 5'10", 170-pound wide receiver with some good speed over there along the sidelines. He could have broken that one.
Bonford on the handoff. Looks like he's going to pick up about 4 on the play. That's number 7 on the carry, Jason Mango Graves. And some bad news for the Hampton Crabbers. The player that was injured is Dion Futch. We hope that Dion's going to be okay.
Oh, certainly we hope they can get him stabilized as quickly as possible. Yes, that's a talented young man.
Give the Crabbers 5 yards on that carry. And again, this time the handoff was to Mango Graves, and nothing doing there as he's met behind the line of scrimmage. And he's going to lose, looks like about 3 yards on the play.
Big Robert Copeland, 6'3", 215 pounds, came through that line untouched and just stood the runner up until everybody else got in there. Woo! Nice play right there on defense. There's some fans that braved to come out here.
Third down.
Thank you very much.
Third down and a long 8 now for the Crabbers as the ball sits at midfield. 3 wide outs to the far side. There's a flag.
That was quick.
I don't understand this.
They were walking up to the ball.
This might be a sideline penalty against the Bruins. That's what it is. That's a sideline warning, folks. That means they're standing inside that white line there with, about 5 feet away from the sideline. They have to stay away from that area so that they don't interfere with the officials running up and down the field. They will be penalized next time they have the flag. All right, here we go. Third down, long 8 for the Crabbers. Back to pass as Manley being forced out of the pocket, gets away from a would-be tackler and is brought down by the Bruins, number 33 on the play, and that's Gaston Ledford. He's going to pick up back where it was when they had a 3-yard loss a little while ago, pick up a 3, so it'll be 4th down and 5 now for the Crabbers. The ball sits just shy of the 46-yard line.
Looks again like Robert Copeland got in there along with, I think that was number 80, Barrett Everton. Got in there and put some pressure on Wofford, and he had nothing to do but run.
Kyle Valiant back to punt the ball for the Crabbers. Much better punt this time than he had the first time, as the Bruins will let it bounce.
Ooh, nice roll.
It goes all the way down inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line.
Well, that's finally going to air it out a little bit for the Crabbers, put the Bruins deep in their own territory, and give this defense of Hampton a chance to get their breath and have some yards to stop Bethel with.
That's about a 43-yard punt, gentlemen. Much better statistic-wise from the first
than the last one.
That I don't think actually even went 40 yards. So here we go, 1st and 10 for the Bruins from about their own 8-yard line. Hanley in the backfield. Now he comes up under center. Hands the ball again to number 36, Sam Bennett. Pickup of a couple of yards just outside the 10. We'll call it a gain of 3. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 7. There is a flag deep in the backfield. The defensive backfield, that is.
Speaking of defense, Hampton defense did a much better job this time of standing up the offensive line of the Bruins, maintaining their position, and they were able to contain that play in the running back Bennett.
Now let's see what this flag is.
Okay, illegal participation. White.
Oh my goodness. What is that? Is that 3 or 4 penalties already here in the first quarter for the Crabbers? They're, Hampton seems to be having a lot of difficulties trying to figure out assignments tonight. They don't have enough people.
Legal participation. White. 1st down.
That means somebody was on the field.
Yeah, I just saw a player run off, and I real quickly counted, and they had 12 people down there. That doesn't work.
No, not when you can only have 11. So a 1st down out of the play for the Bruins, as the ball sits now at about the 26-yard line. Manley again under center. Wide outs, 2 to the far side, 1 to the near. Again, Bennett with the handoff. Gets hit right at the line of scrimmage and falls back to about the original line of scrimmage. So no gain on the play this time. Good defense by the Crabbers.
Yes, Mike, they're playing much better now. Like I said, they're standing up the offensive line of the Bruins. They're not getting pushed around at all. And by doing that, the running back has nowhere to go. There were no holes, and Hampton brought him down. Watch this replay right here. Watch the Hampton players. They're just right up there. They won't budge. They stay right there.
They had him stopped about a yard shy of the line of scrimmage, and he was able to fall forward back to the original line. So no gain on the play. 2nd down and 10. Manley in the shotgun. 3 wide outs, one of them coming towards us on a sweep. And again, Manley up the middle to about the 30. Give him about a 3.5-yard gain, and that'll make it a 3rd down and 7 for the Bruins.
That time, the Bruin offense tried to open up the Crabber defense. It didn't work. The Crabbers stayed right there, caught the runner, brought him down.
3 wide outs again to the far side of the field, 1 to the near side. One is a pass to Parker and is overthrown. Intended for number 7, Jamal Parker. Incomplete. That's going to bring up 4th down and 7 now for the Bruins.
Much better defensive stand for the Hampton Crabbers this time, ladies and gentlemen, as they hold the Bruins and will now probably get pretty decent field position.
Well, Bethel came out with the same setup that time as they did the play before when they handed the ball off to Bennett, but the Crabbers had that one covered. 4th down, they're in deep punt formation. Britt Baker back forward, Bethel. The Crabbers number 7, Mango Graves, back to receive the punt, standing in his own 36. Fumble to snap, and the ball's still loose. The Crabbers picked the ball up at about the 18. Let's see who it is that finally picked the ball up for Hampton. There is a flag on the play, so we're going to have to wait and see what the penalty is. It's going to go against Bethel, so Hampton.
Look at this ball rolling around. We had a great shot, live shot of the kicker.
Is it 22 or 23 on the reception?
Illegal formation, green. We decline it. First down this way.
Dion Newsom picks up the fumble and runs the ball back to the 10-yard line. So the Crabbers have a 1st and goal right at the 10.
Big break for the Crabbers right here with 3:54 left in the first quarter. Hampton down by 7.
3:54 to go here in the first quarter. Bethel out in front, 7-0. Watford now under center in the I formation, one wide out to the far side. Watford hands the ball off to the Crabbers. I believe that's number 2 on the play, and that's DeQuan Charity. Gets a few yards on it, knocks out of bounds.
Number 2, Charity, taking handoff.
See where they end up marking him.
Great lateral pursuit by the Bruin defense. Watch them run him down here. Look at this. Good speed.
Like he's going to go out at about the 7.
Wouldn't let him turn the corner at all. That was great defense.
Give him 3 yards on the play. A 2nd goal from the 7 now for the Crabbers.
When you get these low shots like this, folks, you can see that rain coming down, so you know what these players are facing out there tonight.
They're in the I formation. Again, one wide receiver to the far side. And the ball off this time to number 23 on the play. That's Dion Newsom. Up the middle to about the 5. Gain of about 2 on the play. 3rd down and 5 now for the Crabbers.
Here you see the last play. The handoff goes to number, it looked like number 21, Chris Caver.
That's who it looked like, didn't it? I thought it was 23.
Like Chris Caver.
Yeah, how much of a loss is this going to be right now with Dion Funch being out of his lineup? I mean, he's all everything for the Crabbers.
Well,
and the Crabbers had another player in the lineup, and that's.
You would think it would be something, but right now they seem to be doing
Watford on the
real
carry
well.
up the middle, off to the left side, in for the score, as Watford will pull the Crabbers to within a point now, as the Crabbers will trail 7-6.
There you saw some of the Bethel players saying that they had recovered that fumble and it should be theirs. But I think once that ball gets across the line, the goal line, it breaks the plane. That's a touchdown.
he was 2 yards past the goal line.
Yeah, anything after that, that's just dead ball. Good camera shot there, guys. Great camera shot. Of course, Coach Nelson, as you saw there, was not real happy.
Now the extra point attempt by the Crabbers is up and good. So with 2:05 to go in the first quarter, we're knotted up here 7-7.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching LSC live from Darling Stadium, October the 16th, 2009, bringing you the Hampton High School, Bethel High School football game. Both teams came in with records of 3-2. One of them, most assuredly, more than probably, most likely, will go out of here with a record of 4-2, and one will go out at 3-3. Paul Rowe, along with Mike Hauser, up in the booth with Brent Musgrove and Bob Hintz, who brought his binoculars with him. All right, we're getting news now that it was Dion Futch that got hurt.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier.
And it looks like they are taking him off and out. So he may not be back in this game tonight, Mike. We hope he's going to be all right. That's a great, talented young man, as you heard Coach Smith talk about him at the top of the game.
Theo Walker deep for Bethel. This time the kick goes to the far side. And, look out. It was taken by number 21 on the play, Stephen Clark, and down the left sideline he goes all the way down to, let's see where they're going to mark it at, about the Crabber 45-yard line. Nice return.
Stephen Clark, a 6'2", 165-pound senior wide receiver. Looked like for a second there, Mike, he was stopped as we watched the replay. He just comes to stop, and then boom, he gets a burst from a hole on the left-hand side. That young man, great yardage on that.
Forced out of bounds by number 7, Jason Mango Graves for the Crabbers. 1st and 10 for Bethel at their own 45, or at Hampton's 45. Here's a handoff to Bennett again up the middle as he gets down inside the 40, and I believe there is a fumble on the play. I believe the Bruins got the ball back, though.
Bethel Bruins going right back to that running attack with Bennett. They're driving him up the middle. They're forcing the Crabbers to make the play. Now, in the last series of downs, we saw them stop Bennett, but this time Bennett drags 2 tacklers with him. You can see right there, pushes right through another one, and he picks up some good yardage.
Gain of 5 on the play. 2nd down and 5 for the Bruins at the Hampton 40. Bennett, the lone back, standing next to Manley, the quarterback, as he's in the shotgun now. This time he takes the ball, hands it off to Manley, or to Bennett. No, he keeps the ball and gets about 6 yards on it. Manley did a good job. He faked everybody out.
Yes, he did. He got you.
Yeah, he did. Well, that's not hard to do.
Yeah, it is sometimes.
First down at the Crabber 34.
It was a good one. He puts that ball right into Bennett's hands and just pulls it out. That's a beautiful fake. And he picks up about 5 or 6 yards, enough for the first down.
That even might have been a little bit more effective if Bennett had kept on running like he had the ball.
Oh, yeah.
It would have drawn that defense, but he'd stopped. This time Bennett does get the ball, and he is stopped by the Crabbers' number 11, Monte Haney, as he picks up, about 3 down to the Crabber 32. So it's going to be 2nd down and 7 for the Bruins. As we're down under under a minute to go here in the first quarter of play. We're tied here at Darling Stadium. Hampton 7 and Bethel 7. Manley again in the back. Fumble, and he falls on the ball. He's not even going to take the time to pick it up. He just falls on it. That's going to be a pretty good sized loss that time. About 8 yards on the play, all the way back to the Crabbers' 39-yard line. So that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 15 now for the Bethel Bruins.
It might be a big loss, Mike, but he probably did the very best thing he could do. You don't want to take a chance, as you see him fall on the ball there, of trying to pick up a slippery ball and then losing it to where the Crabbers can get in there and recover to push you back.
I'm not so sure by looking at the replay that the ball was wet, and it looked like he took his eye off the ball. This time the ball snapped over his head. Picks the ball up, and he's running with it, but down he goes right at about the 45-yard line, and there goes another flag on the play as Jeff Nelson is out on the field raising all kind of cane. And I guarantee you that's what the flag is, as the official is telling Coach Nelson to get off the field.
There he is right there, folks. You can see he's not happy as the center goes right over the quarterback, Manley. He picks it up, tries to scramble and get something out of it, but he's not going to get much. There's too many Hampton Crabbers back there.
Yeah, brought down by the Crabbers, Monte Haney, number 11 again. And let's see what the penalty is. It's waiting for the official word now.
Nelson's still out there. He's not happy.
Here we go. I'm not sure what that is.
Umpires are still out there with the refs checking. Still talking some things over. Not quite sure what they're going to do here.
Well, he put both his hands back behind his back. Oh, there it is right there. That is a sideline interference. So that's not a sideline infraction as such. That is an actual interference. He must have hit one of the officials running down the field. And that's when the flag was thrown.
So that's not a warning. That's
he's going to get flagged because they've already had a warning.
Look, Ray Smith over there in the right-hand corner under that umbrella, staying dry.
And see, if you look at where he is standing where all the players are supposed to be on that back line. And that is something that they talked. That's right.
If you can see that line right there, ladies and gentlemen, on your screen.
The right-hand side.
Where the guy on the right-hand side, where the guy
with the headphones is. I've got a dead ball, sideline interference, green, 4th down.
You are required to stay behind that white line. It's about 4 feet from the sidelines.
Well, folks, here's a question. Here's a concern. They just marked a 5-yard penalty off against Hampton, not Bethel. Oh, I see. We're at the end of the quarter. That's why they're switching over. My goodness. We're sitting here trying to figure out what the play was, and the quarter ended on us.
I was going to wake you up in a second and let you know.
Yeah, right. You knew, too. All right, as we get ready to start the second quarter, 7-7 here as we get started here at the second quarter, as the Bruins 4th down and long will be getting set to punt the ball, and 4th down and long is about what Hampton had earlier. 4th down and 30, and the ball was snapped in the ground. A bad kick. Oh, nice job by the Crabbers catching the ball in the air right at their own 45. So that only goes as a 9-yard punt. Oh, who was that, 22 on the carry?
2-0.
2-0. That would be Kevon Bellamy for the Crabbers. So the Crabbers have great field position.
Look, this is almost like an interception. He just comes out of there.
I'll catch it. I got it. Picks up about 2 yards or so on the return. So the Crabbers will take over 1st and 10.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to know that the second quarter tonight is sponsored by Beach Hardware, located at 1951 East Pembroke Avenue in the Buckrow Shopping Center. Beach Hardware is the place for all your hard-to-find hardware needs, including electrical, plumbing, and painting. And by Zooms, with great service and convenient locations throughout the peninsula that can save you time and money.
And there's a 5-yard penalty against the Bruins for an inadvertent face mask.
Face mask, green. First
The
down.
Crabbers get 5 more added to that. And 1st and 10 at the Bethel 40, or at the Crabber 49-yard line.
All right, and by Kelly's Tavern, family dining and delicious food. Join them for lunch or dinner at Port Warwick off Jefferson Avenue in Newport News, and on Coliseum Drive at Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. And we've got one more, but we'll give it to you after this play.
Fumble. Let's see if the Crabbers got back on it. That was Charity that took the handoff from the Crabbers quarterback, David Watford, and let's see what happens. It looks like Bethel has it, and they do.
Mike, we're seeing some slippery snaps. We're seeing some fumbles, mishandles in the backfield. This weather is beginning to take its toll, and as we talk, it's beginning to rain harder. Watch this. That ball just goes into his hands, and he hands it off. He's got
But it was stripped out of his hands by Robert Copeland, number 49, as he did a great job defensively.
He sure did.
And the Bethel Bruins now take over 1st and 10 at the Hampton 39-yard line. As obviously, if you can, you get a shot of the air around the players from the sideline camera, you can see it raining now. There it is,
right there.
That's
Great
a
shot.
steady rain coming down, so that's definitely going to affect this outcome. There's a handoff on a reverse down the right side, and nice defensive play over there by the Crabbers. Number 10 on the play, and that's Justin Ricks, as he had a defensive player right on him the entire time.
Solitude. One last sponsor, ladies and gentlemen. We're also sponsored this quarter, as you watch the replay, by Tidewater Team Sports, located at 11839B Cannon Boulevard in Oyster Point, Newport News.
Now Manley hands the ball off right up the middle, right up the gut, so to speak, to Bennett, and he's going to end up with a 1st down, a pickup of about 8 yards on the play down to the Crabber 20, looks like the 28-yard line.
Young man Bennett is getting a lot of work tonight, isn't he?
Well, that's the way this kind of, with this field condition, a solid back will gain, that's where you're going to get a lot of your yards tonight, is running the ball right up the middle. Bennett again, this time he goes off the right side, and he fumbles the ball, and it looks like the Crabbers have it. They do. So Bennett fumbles the ball tonight. That's another turnover for Bethel. The hot potato tonight. Who got the hot potato, right?
This may end up into the turnover ball, and it's not because of the players, folks. It's because of the weather.
And that was a good defense.
Yeah.
Look at the water shoot up from their feet when they're going down. So one of the things Coach Smith talked about in our pregame interview down there was he thought the field conditions were good. Well, the field conditions are good, but it doesn't help any when the rain continues to come down.
Yeah, we haven't had any stoppage, and as you can see on the field there, it's begun to rain harder. And I think it is going to change and make the field a big, big factor in this game.
So Watford now under the center, back to pass. Wide open over on the right side. Left side is incomplete as it was intended for the Crabbers. Number 11 on that town, Monty Haney, incomplete. A little bit overthrown. Situation where the ball's wet and kind of slides out of the hand while he's throwing it.
Kind of like throwing a dead quail up there sometimes. You can't get it where you wanted it to go.
We got here early tonight, and it wasn't raining at the time, and I guess it started raining pretty close right after the pregame interviews, and it hasn't stopped since. It's pretty good, steady downpour right now. Incomplete pass, 2nd down and 10.
Delay of game called against the drivers.
Five yards and a
5-yard penalty.
down to 15.
Second down and 15 now.
The Crabbers.
More and more the umbrellas going. I like those little, look at those. They look like bags you get your suit back from the cleaners.
That does. That works real well with the kids, I'll tell you.
It does.
Watford on a keeper. And instead of pitching the ball back to Charity, he keeps it and picks up a couple yards.
Friendship.
Ball sits at the 24-yard line now, and it'll be 3rd down and about 12 for Hampton.
He he had the ball right there, and he started to think about it, but he saw number 27 of the Bruins go after the option man, so he decided to keep that one. Probably a smart move with the wetness of the ball at this point. And I'm looking right here at the window in front of us is getting pelted with rain.
Good thing we have a monitor in front of us, isn't it?
Yeah. Good thing we had a window in front.
Watford up the middle this time, only picks up a yard or so. He gains to about the 25, and that'll bring up a 4th down now for the Crabbers, punting situation.
Look at
4th
this.
down and about 11.
Watch this as he gets this one, fakes the pass, tries to take it right up the middle.
He was 1 block away from a wide open middle of the field, too, and I guarantee you Coach Smith can see that.
Kind of hard to get your footing, though, to get that speed that you need and cut.
Back deep to punt the ball now for the Crabbers. That's Kyle Valiant.
Look at that rain. Look at that. They got a good handle on that one.
A decent punt considering how it's raining. The ball's down near the 35-yard line. It looks like it'll be down by the Crabbers at the 35-yard line.
Bruins will take over 1st and 10.
And that'll be about a 40-yard punt for the Crabbers. So that's 2 decent punts in a row now, 40 or more for the Crabbers.
He's had 2 real nice punts after that one that he had in the very first quarter, first series of plays.
So Bethel will take over 1st and 10 from their own 35. 9:21 to go here in the first quarter.
Look at this. Look at the rain come down as he kicks that. But he's got a good, strong arm. Yeah, he kicks it with his arm. Good, strong leg.
Don't forget the cheerleading competition tomorrow.
Manley to Bennett. Bennett up the middle, being dragged down by the Crabbers. And he has fumbled the ball again. And did the Crabbers come up with it? And I believe they did. They did.
But I thought he was down. But
Conference
I thought he was down before he lost the ball. But I may be wrong.
Looks like the Crabbers number 75 on the play. That's Kimbrough Parker will recover the fumble, and that'll be a 1st down for Hampton. Let's see if he was actually down.
Watch and let's see if he's down. He's got the ball. He's down right there, folks. And he's still got the ball. Now the ball comes out. He was down.
He was.
Bob Hintz agrees with me. When Bob Hintz agrees, you know you're right.
Oh, brother. Well, they gave the ball back to Bethel.
Well, there you go. They must have heard us.
Must have. This time the ball was handed off to number 1, Ronnie Sanders. He's close to a 1st down. It depends on where they mark it. But the referee, the back judge, gave the ball to Hampton. I wonder what happened to change it, because I never saw him change it. Did you?
Well, they saw Bob stand up here in the window, and he was going like this.
Enough for the 1st down by Sanders. 1st and 10 now for Bethel. Timeout is now called by
Hampton.
The Hampton Crabbers. That's the first timeout called here in the first half. 8:35 to go here in the first half of play at Darling Stadium. 7-7.
You're right. That is the first timeout. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen,
all you got to do is look at the scoreboard.
Yeah, you're watching LSC live from Darling Stadium on October the 16th, 2009. Paul Rowe along with Mike Hauser. And over here we have our wonderful friend Bob Hintz, who's staying up here where it's warm. Brent Musgrove. The 2 guys that really find out all the information that they're supposed to have. Now we're going to keep Bob off the mic.
Oh, he's got the microphone. He's got the wireless with him.
Who gave him that mic? Oh, Lord.
Well, what do you think, Bob?
Well, tell us what you have down there, Bob. All I can say, ladies and gentlemen, here's the theme for tonight's game. Listen to the rhythm of the falling rain.
Say,
Telling me I should be at home.
The cameraman down on the field can't find Bob. I wonder why.
Who's down there, Steve or Gene?
Both.
Both of them. I'm
All right,
getting good
first and
tonight.
10 for Bethel at their own 45-yard line is after the Hampton timeout. Will continue play here. Manley again, this time hands the ball off to the Bruins. No, he keeps the ball. He's wide open down the middle of the field. He's going to go all the way for the score. 55 yards to pay dirt as the Bruins will take over the lead here in the second quarter of play.
How quick lightning can strike, how quickly momentum can change. Yeah, I'm looking right now for a flag. I don't see any. Here's the replay, the fake. It's a good fake. Pulls the ball out. He faked that one tackler out. He's got nobody touching him here. Right there, he gets tagged, and then he just outruns the secondary of the Crabbers into the end zone for the score.
Baker in for the extra point for the Bruins. The ball is blocked. So the extra point is no good as the Bruins now lead the Hampton Crabbers 13-7. And mark my word, that extra point may be a key factor at the end of the game.
All right, which word do you want me to mark?
Mark that one right there. That'd
that
be good.
Word right there. I got that word
That'd
marked.
be good. 13-0 Bethel out in front of the Hampton Crabbers. Turnovers have been the key to this game.
Watch this again. Watch it. Nice fake. He got this guy just going the wrong way, and he tucks it under and runs. Got tagged by number 43, or 41, excuse me, and then just ran it right on in.
I tell you what, Manley is deceptive.
He is.
With that ball because, you know, I could have swore he handed off to Ronnie Sanders. You know, it's one of those plays where he pulls it back into himself. The guy with who we think is going to be running the ball's gone.
Right, and wasn't it Bennett? He also did that great handoff too. He put it in his gut and just pulled it right back out, and boom, he was gone again. I'm impressed with this young man.
Crabbers have 5 penalties so far for 35 yards. That was a 57-second drive for a score. 65 yards.
55. 55 yards.
They started at their own 35 to start the drive.
Well, that would be 65. And I'm not a mathematician.
Because they had a 1st and 10 after the 10-yard that put them on the 45. And that was a 55-yard run, but it was a 65-yard drive.
Timeout. No argument.
Here's the kickoff and the run back by the Crabbers. Nice run back outside the 40. Number 11, that was Monty Haney of the Crabbers.
Monty Haney.
So Hampton will take over the ball, 1st and 10 from their own. Looks like they're going to mark it at about the 41-yard line. It's really wet out there, I'm telling you.
There's Beth Mayer, the head of athletics for the city school system. Nice, wonderful. I've had talked with her several times. She's just as accommodating as can be. Wonderful lady.
Let's see, Hampton has 4 wideouts now, 2 on either side. Watford back to pass, being flushed out of the pocket now, will run. Runs around one tackler out of bounds near the 46-yard line, and there is a flag in the backfield, as Larry Turlington tells us it's going to be a holding against the Crabbers.
That's too bad. And
it's going to go from where the flag is, too. That's way back there inside the 35.
Mike, watch this nice move. I'll show you when it is, not now. Right here, just a nice move to the outside to get past these guys.
That's a big penalty when they mark off 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
White. Still 1st down.
And that's about a 17-yard penalty from the holding call.
Satisfaction.
Ball is now set at the Crabber 24-yard line.
Hampton
so it's going to be 1st down and 27 now.
Hampton seems to be always working from a hole.
Well, that's 17 yards added to the original 35 yards they got. What's that give them? 51 yards in penalties already here in the first half on 6 penalties. Watford again in shotgun, back to pass. This time runs up the middle. not much there as he's brought down by the Bruins number 4 on the play. That's Devon Hodges for the Bruins. Back to the line of scrimmage. We'll call it second down in about 27 now.
Now look at this, number 90, and I believe that's Copeland. Almost got in there right on the ball. I tell you what, that put big pressure on the Crabbers that time. I'm trying to find number 90 here.
For who?
For Bethel.
Michael Artis.
Michael Artis. For some reason, I thought that was one of the Copelands who was number 90.
Watford back to pass this time down the right sideline. Wide open, right through his hand. Jason Mango Graves. That was 7 points. That had 6 points written all over it, guys.
Yeah, no offense, Bethel, but it looked like blown coverage there because he was wide open.
And he was streaking down the right sideline with nobody within 10 yards of him.
There we have our concession stand. Here's the, look at this, nice pass. Look at him. He is a good 4 yards behind any of the defenders.
Ball looked like it might have been a little bit behind him, but he had plenty of time to with nobody around him defensively to adjust to it. Third down now, 27-4 the Crabbers. Watkins, back to pass being flushed out, and down he goes all the way back to the 10-yard line. That's a 15-yard loss, and the Crabbers really have put themselves in a hole now. As this is going to be 4th down and what do you call it, a country mile?
4th down and more than a country mile on that one. My gosh, once again, that was Mr. Artis getting in. Oh, man, he just, great play.
It's 4th down and 40.
4th and 40. 440.
4th and 40.
Are they going to go for it?
Not hardly. Back in his own end zone now to punt the ball away.
Now's where he needs another one of those good 40-yard punts.
Walker back deep for Bethel. Line drive kick right to Walker as he's hit after he picks it up and gets away from the defender. Carries the ball all the way down inside the 25 to about the 24. So about a 16-yard return for Walker and the Bruins, and they will set up shot 1st and 10 from the Crabbers' 24-yard line.
That was a nice return by Walker as we watch it again. He just looks to see what he has, where he can go. It's just a very calculated run, a very smart run.
And so here we go, 1st and 10 with 6:07 to go here in the first half of play. 6:02 to go in the first quarter, or first half. Fumble on the play again as the ball was handed off, I believe, to number 1, Ronnie Sanders. And Manley had to fall on the ball. They're going to lose about 6 on the play all the way back to the 30-yard line, the 31-yard line. So
Manley never really had control of the ball. As you can see, it was centered to him, and as he went to hand it off, it was continuing to go past him.
2nd down to 17 now for Bethel.
Are we keeping stats on how many fumbles and misplays they have over there? This is going to be interesting tonight.
Manley on a handoff again to Sanders up the middle down near the 26-yard line. Gain of about 5 on the play.
And I think, Mike, that was the play they were running just a minute ago when they mishandled the ball.
Coach says if you couldn't do it the first time, let's see if we can do it the second time. Is that it? So a gain of 5, 2nd down and 12, or 3rd down and 12 now for the Bruins.
Watching right there, just goes right through the middle, takes a slide. It was a good handoff this time.
There's another handoff to Sanders over to the right-hand side as he gets down near the 20. Looks like he got inside the 20, but that's going to bring up a 4th down and what looks to be about 5 on the play. Wholesale changes now for the Bruins. Looks like they may be trying to kick a field goal. Let's see what they decide to do. Well, they're going to call timeout. So with timeout here with 4:34 to go here in the second period, the Bruins out front 13-7 over the Hampton Crabbers.
And you're watching all of this live on LSC Local Sports Channel from Darling Stadium, October the 16th, 2009. Great football. And we have behind us Mr. Bob Robert Hintz.
Well, I guess he's getting ready to go out to do his halftime interview. Is that what it is?
He's putting on a jacket.
Got a special guest at halftime that Bob will be interviewing right at the end of the second quarter.
And he is a special guest. He's a very nice man, very nice young man. Known him for many, many years, and I knew and taught with his son, who is just as crazy as his dad. They're both just wonderful, great. There you see a sparse crowd across the way on the other side.
So Bethel has elected not to try for the field goal. They will go for it, 4th and 5, as the ball sits right at the 20-yard line. And it goes under center now in the I formation. And they pitches the ball back to. Oh, nice defense by the Crabbers. They had that one snuffed out pretty good as the ball was pitched to the deep back, Jamal Parker, number 7. Pretty good loss on the play that time of about 10 yards. So Hampton will take over 1st and 10 from their own 30.
If we see a replay, and I don't know whether we will or not, but it looked like, and here it comes, looked like the Bethel blockers were just kind of standing up and then shooting the gap like they were playing defense, and the Hampton defense just slid right on through there.
Yeah, led by the
line came in.
1st and 10 now for the Crabbers at their own 25-yard line.
They could dry up some hands out there on the Crabbers side. They've had some receivers that have gotten into open territory, and Wofford's been able to get on the ball. If they can hold on to it, they can move this thing upfield.
Wideouts now, 2 to the far side, 1 now. Hampton has another player running on the field, and this is becoming a habit. Watford on a keeper up the middle. Gets the ball back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Brought down by the Bruins, number 25 on the play that time, and that's Daquan Wright. And they seem like the Crabbers just don't seem like they're setting themselves in sync. And almost every play, somebody's running on the field or running off the field right before the snap of the ball.
As you say that, a runner's running off the field.
They've got 11 on the field, so 3 wideouts to the far side, 2nd down and 10 at the 25. Back to pass. He's being flushed out. Down he goes. Hit pretty hard, too, and good job as the Bruins had him for a sack of about 5 yards on the play. So that'll be a loss of 5. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 15 now.
Good pressure here by number 11, Ira Harris, as you see him come along the back and grab Watford. And he just holds on and gives his teammates time enough to get in there and bring him down for the loss. Bethel, I mean, they're ranked, 2nd in defense, and they are really, really playing hard tonight.
Watford again in the shotgun, and there goes a flag for a delay of game again. That's another penalty.
Dead ball, delay, white.
Is that penalty number 8 now on the Crabbers here in the first half? Still 3rd down, but now it's 3rd and 20. They've been playing in the hole pretty much the entire first half.
They have. As I said, Bethel with a good defense. They only allow 112 yards per game and 64 passing. They're playing tough again.
Watford back to pass as Flores out of the pocket, runs the ball straight up the middle. Ooh, a late hit there, but nothing was called. He gets to about 10 on the play, out to the 25, which was the original line of scrimmage. And that's going to bring up a 4th down and 10 for the Crabbers, as they will have to punt the ball away as Kyle Valiant comes in to punt the ball for the Crabbers, going back deep for Bethel, number 24, Rio Walker.
And on the replay there, you saw Devon Hodges, number 4, 5'7", 175-pound senior, make that tackle.
4th and 10 as the Crabbers will punt. Oh, nice punt. Nice spiral all the way down inside the 40. It's fumbled, and Walker gets on the ball at the 39-yard line.
But is able to recover the ball.
About a 36 or 37-yard punt on the play. Well, we've had 5 fumbles in this game. 3 fumbles by Bethel. They've lost 2, and Hampton has lost 2 fumbles also. What was that I said right before the game that I thought the key to the game was going to be? Fumble here, a fumble there. Whoever can hold the ball the most. 1st and 10 Bethel now from their own 39-yard line. 4 wideouts, 2 split on either side of the ball. Manley hands the ball off to the lead runner this time, number 1, Sanders.
Ronnie Sanders taking
Like Ronnie Sanders will pick up about 1.5 yards, maybe give him 2. We'll call it 2nd down and 8. Somebody needs to close the door. It's getting kind of nippy up here. So a gain of 2. Haney on the stop for the Crabbers. 2nd down and 8. A little shot there of some of our crowd.
Warmly dressed. Warmly dressed.
It's actually gotten pretty chilly since we've been here.
Can I correct you on that?
Uh-oh, look out. Fumbled the ball all the way back to their own 25-yard line. And the snap from center was snapped straight down on the ground. He kind of just slid right by Manley.
That's about 4 or 5 missed snaps for Bethel, and that's something we don't count in the fumbles here.
No, that one looked like it went right through his legs.
It did.
So 3rd down in the bunch now. Let's see. 3rd down and what, about 20, 21 on the play? Manley again in the shotgun with Sanders standing next to him. They are in a 4 wideout set. Paul Parker, number 7, going over to the far side to set himself up. Manley this time under center. There's a snap, and he takes the ball straight up the middle. Just trying to get a little bit of extra yards before they have to punt the ball away, but Bethel will be well short of a 1st down.
Somewhere around 18 yards.
Timeout is called by the official. I haven't seen if a team took a timeout yet, but it will be 4th, and here it is. Timeout by the Crabbers, so they want the Bruins to punt the ball. We're down to 27 seconds before halftime. Bethel leading 13-7 with a 4th down and about 17 to go here.
Very confident Hampton Crabber team wanting one more crack at it before they go into the, into the locker rooms at halftime. So we'll see what happens here as you watch this football game between the Bethel Bruins and the Hampton Crabbers on October the 16th, 2009 from Darling Stadium. You're watching the wonderful, the great LSC Local Sports Channel as we bring you sports every Friday night and sometimes on Saturday when we have them. I think all of them this year are on Friday nights.
All the regular season games, and we get into the playoffs, things will change a little bit then. Tell everybody, if you like watching LSC, tell all your friends about it. We're now shown pretty much all the way around the peninsula area.
We are. It's
City of Hampton. It's on channel 48, and in Newport News it's on 22 on the Fox. On the Fios. On the Fios. And so the Crabbers will get the ball back here on a 4th down.
Folks, if you want to see this game again, we're going to replay it on Saturday, October the 17th. That's tomorrow at 7 p.m. And then Tuesday, October the 20th at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m.
Well, it looks like Bethel is not punting the ball away. Manley is under center.
This is interesting. Maybe they're going to try and run around with the ball or draw them off sides. Take another delay.
So Manley snaps. I don't understand this at all. That gives Hampton the ball all the way inside the 30-yard line.
Interesting.
Well, that's a... that was... That was a very interesting play or call by the Bethel coaching staff.
Yeah.
On a 4th down and 17 in their own territory, they decided to go with it instead of punting it.
I'll tell you what it says, though, Mike. It says, I have great confidence in my defense. That's what it says.
There's a pass over the middle, almost intercepted. It actually probably should have been intercepted by the Bruins number 43, and that's Alex Payton. So the ball was a little bit behind the intended receiver of the Crabbers. So second down now and 30. Let's see, second down and 10 from the Bruin 36.
I like the idea, though, that Hampton was passing. I don't like the idea that he's throwing into triple coverage, but I like the idea that with seconds left, they're putting the ball up in this rainy weather and at least trying to get in there to score.
And we're down to 15 seconds to go before the end of the half. The Crabbers still have one timeout left. Watford again into shotgun. Enough time for a couple of plays here. This time throws the ball over the middle again, wide open and off the
I
chest.
think it might have been.
And intercepted by the Bruins, number 43. Alex Payton. And I tell you, the ball was right in the hands of the Crabber receiver. Bounced right off his chest.
It sure was, Mike. Watch this. Wofford gets a good pass. There's the catch right there, supposed catch. And it just bounces right off his chest.
That's Gabriel Oliver for the Crabbers, who went right off his hands. Oh, he didn't have that.
I'm not so sure that was an interception there, ladies and gentlemen. But
It's white. We decline it.
We're down to 10 seconds to go here in the second quarter, and turnover after turnover. And that's
turnover bowl.
Back and forth. That's what we've got here so far.
Yeah, but that's a shame on that last one right there. We saw it good and clear. It's great camera work again of our crew. I tell you, they do a super job out there. Nate Braxton, Susan Bowers, Gene Wheeler, and Steve Fryer, and they caught that one. The ball was wrapped around his back, went down on the ground. He trapped that and was hiding it from the ref so nobody could see it.
So Manley will down the ball inside the 10-yard line and let the clock run out as we end the first half of play here tonight at Darling Stadium. The Bethel Bruins are out in front of Hampton by a score of 13-7. Special guest now down on the field by standing next to our own Bob Hintz is the athletic director of the Bethel Bruins. That will be Ray Smith. So what do you got for it then, Bob?
I got Ray Smith down here. Ray, first of all, let's talk a little bit about this ball game. Oh, you weren't too thrilled about them not punting the ball.
No, but I guess the head coach knows what's best.
He's got confidence in that defense.
He's got some confidence in his defense, yeah.
All right, tell me some of the things that you do over at Bethel as athletic director. I hear everybody tell me what a great job you're doing.
Well, thank you. We all the ADs still teach. I'm in charge of district cheerleading, which we will be hosting tomorrow at our school. I'm also in charge of district, regional, and state indoor track, district and regional outdoor track. I'm real pleased with our new weight room we've had for about 2 years now. It's 3,400 square feet.
Let's talk a little bit. How did you get those weights?
Well, I heard that the fitness center was going to be opening up a new facility, and I just called over there and asked them if they had some equipment they wanted to get rid of that we'd like to have it. So Mike Revere, who's the manager, we kept in contact probably for over a year, and he called me right before Christmas and said that he had some equipment, but that there was a guy that wanted to buy some of it. So I said, well, whatever we can get, we'll be thankful for. So he called me about a week before Christmas and said, Christmas has come early. The deal fell through. How much equipment do you want? I said, I want all of it.
You got it all.
So we got it all.
Oh, wow.
Including cardiovascular equipment, and that's good because we let our faculty, we've got a cardiovascular room with treadmills, Stairmasters, bikes, so our faculty can use that, and then PE uses that as well as all our athletic teams.
Well, that's kind of above and beyond what an athletic director does normally, but being Johnny on the spot.
Well, yeah, it's sort of like the early bird catches the worm. And whenever I leave Bethel, I want to leave it in better shape than I got it. And I'm real pleased with the weight room. I'm also real pleased with the community service project our football team did this year. They went over and helped the Downtown Hampton Child Development Center move from their Sarah Bonwell Hudgens location right back over here. They spent the whole morning and moved them lock, stock, and barrel over. It was a community service project for the football team. Every varsity football player was there, including the coaches, and it was a great day. I think the kids got a lot out of it, and the people at Downtown Hampton Child Development Center were certainly gracious to us and thanked us. And I like our kids to become community involved because it's not just about playing sports; it's about giving back to your community.
Well, I listen to what you're talking about and what you're doing, and when you think of an athletic director, you are talking about things that most people don't think an athletic director does. you know, all the different things you're doing. I know you teach classes and all that too, but also you got to be involved in making sure the buses and the coaches and get all their equipment.
Transportation sometimes is not fun.
Well, Ray, I appreciate you. Oh, one other thing I wanted before we stop. I know you had a little problem. You had a little bypass.
Yeah, I had a little bump in the road back in April.
Right, and Leonard Thomas came over and took your place.
Yep.
He retired from Kickotan. He didn't miss a beat, did he?
No, he did me a big favor.
Well, I tell you, you're looking good.
Well, I feel great.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that. I feel great.
Well,
I'm
that's good.
Very lucky and very blessed.
Well, I appreciate you taking time to talk to us in this nice weather we're having.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Only rains on the football field, not on the golf course.
That's true. All right, guys, back up to you.
All right, back here at the half again. The Bethel Bruins out in front, 13-7, and this turnover fest first half, and Hampton just shot themselves in the foot the entire game. The entire first half was penalty here, penalty there, and they were playing from in the hole almost the entire first half.
Yes, they were, and I tell you what, this weather had a lot to do with that, Mike. This ball has been slippery, and it's been tough for them to hold on to. And we're seeing bad snaps over the heads of the people. We're seeing them go through the legs. We're seeing them go left, go right. We're seeing quarterbacks that can't get the ball to the runners, and when they get them to the receivers can't hold on to them. It's just been one of those games, ladies and gentlemen. If you were here, you'd understand why. But, of course, we're glad that you're where you are. You're watching this live in the warm comfort of your house while we're out here in the cold.
Talk a little bit about our upcoming schedule.
We've got a good schedule.
We have three more games on the schedule that will end the regular season. Next week here on Friday, again live, we have the
big game
of the year as it's been the last few years, and that's going to be the Phoebus Phantoms against the Hampton Crabbers.
And I understand that the tickets are going to go on sale at the beginning of next week. So you need to watch the papers and listen to the news to find out when they're going to send those to wherever it is that they sell them. I guess the schools and some of the other areas.
Well, if Hampton happens to be lucky enough to come back and play well in the second half and win this game, that's going to make that game that much more important.
Well, it's going to be important anyway. I mean, both teams are going to win. Bethel, I mean, when Hampton's playing them, they're going to want to beat Phoebus for obvious reasons.
Yep.
And Phoebus, of course, looking to extend that winning streak that's up to about, 22 or 23 now or something. And Hampton would love nothing more than to break that streak.
I think it was 26 last week's
that
game.
much now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Following that week, the week of October the 30th, we're going to have the Hampton Crabbers taking on their arch nemesis, the Kickotan Warriors.
Ooh,
that should be a good game. Looking forward to that one, too. And then we're going to end the regular season on November the 6th with a clash between the Bethel Bruins and the Phoebus Phantoms.
Wasn't that one of our first games last year? Or was that toward the end? I can't remember.
I know we started off the season with Bethel and Kickotan, which turned out to be a pretty good game.
This year, yes. Very good.
So Bethel-Phoebus, with the way Bethel plays on offense, they have a shot in that game because Bethel, our Phoebus's defense is not as strong this year as they were last year. Well, after a season like they had last year,
who can duplicate that?
That's right.
That's
15-0 in the state title, and that was that season last year for Phoebus was very reminiscent of some of the years that Hampton had won all those games and state titles back in Perry. So it was really interesting.
Certainly was.
Well, again, we're at the half. It looks like we got about 10 minutes or so before the second half will start, and the Bethel Bruins are out in front of the Hampton Crabbers 13-7. So what do you want to talk about here? You want to talk about our crew? We have a great crew that works with us week in and week out here for LSC, and if you want to talk with them, all you got to do is get on the phone and call them at the
No, the first thing I want to say is I want to appreciate the fact that Scotty finally got his heat up here and that, we're not real cold or anything. That's a hint, Scotty.
I think what he did is he forgot to put the thermostat in because it's still cold.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go away. We're at halftime here at Darling Stadium, October the 16th, 2009, with the Bethel Bruins and the Hampton High School Crabbers. We're going to cut to some band play, and we'll be back with some more football. Stay with us.
Well, back here at Darling Stadium as we are getting set to start the third quarter here shortly. The Bethel Bruins out in front 13-7, as you can see that with our great-looking graphics there that Andy puts on the screen for us.
Thank you, Andy. That was real nice of you.
I don't have an edit.
You know, we have to sit here and try to fill in a bunch of time earlier, and it's almost like having a movie here. Let's show the first half stats as Andy will throw them up on the board for us.
They're bumping into me.
There we go. It looks like the passing yards, Bethel has 0 passing yards. Hampton actually's got, that's where one stat that Hampton's got a little bit more of, because the total yards don't look good for either team. 90 total yards. Crabber's been held to 25 yards. Wow. Look at the penalties, though. The penalties has really hurt Hampton. 7 penalties for 50 yards and 3 on Bethel. And look at the turnovers now.
There's a big difference there.
6 turnovers, yet they still lead the game 13-7.
And look at the time of possession. That is amazing.
I think the time of possession is that way because I think what was Brent, what was it, Brent? 11 seconds here and 11 seconds there, and 15 seconds later, the other team has got it. So
you trying to say our calculator couldn't calculate that fast?
That's right. The calculator got broke.
Calculator couldn't work in the rain, huh?
So, Bob, you could get on your wireless up here and chat with us a little bit. Well, I'm not sure that one is on right now, but you can grab your wireless and you can talk with us while he's up here. As Bob had a great interview down there with Ray Smith. And, well, what do you think there, Bob?
I tell you what, what Ray Smith has done over there as an athletic director of Bethel is far and above anything I've ever seen. It's just amazing what he's done. But you guys were talking about the time of possession. Brent just didn't have a stopwatch.
That's what he would have had to have because nobody kept the ball long enough.
Well, you have it for 9 seconds, and then next guy's got it for 11 seconds.
I mean, there was 8 turnovers in the first half. Actually, I believe there was 9 because there was an interception by Hampton. So 9 turnovers in the first half, and
well, I'll tell you what, if there were 9 turnovers, if there's a turnover in this half, I want it to be Apple because y'all are making me hungry talking about turnovers.
Let me tell you a little something about being down on the field, though. When you're sitting there and you're looking up at the lights, it's just a fine mist, and you can just see the wind blowing it. So these guys are just, that thing is not stopping. It's not raining hard, but you don't have to be there long before you're soaked. And I tell you, that ball has got to be just as slippery as the dickens.
Oh, yeah, and that's been evident by the receivers. You can see that the ball goes right through their hands, bounces off their chest. That thing's gone. They're not able to hang on to anything, and the running backs are having the same problem. The ball's very, very slick.
Well, and what you was talking about with Manley, the quarterback, how well he does use the ball and fake it, I'm surprised he does as well as he does, as slippery as that ball is.
You're exactly correct. In this weather, you just want one person to handle the ball. Let him take it, let him run with it. I'm surprised they haven't done more of that rather than hand off, particularly after the results that they've had in the first half here. We'll see what they do.
Well, one of the things I did notice that when Hampton was, as you can see, he got a little bit
of that. Look at that little, they look like octagons or what. I'm not a math. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sextagon or whatever it is. You can see those are raindrops on our camera, ladies and gentlemen. Raindrops right there.
We talked earlier about an injury by one of the Hampton Crabbers, and it was Dion Funch. And folks, that's him out there on the line.
Well, it looked like he had a bad ankle, and they rewrapped it, didn't bring him back out until the second half. But they carried him. He's the one they carried off the field.
Right. And believe it or not, that is definitely a downside for Hampton because that's their start.
Well, it really is.
And he probably won't play. He is limping now a little bit, but at least we see him walking, and that is a good sign.
Right. Well, Mike, you made a good point earlier that if you're a heavy back, is what we used to call a mudder.
That's right.
That can run in this kind of field. If you're heavy and got a lot of weight, but you've got to learn, these kids have to learn to lower that center of gravity, because if you try to make a turn and you haven't lowered your center of gravity, you're not going anywhere. Your feet going right out from under you.
Well, I tell you what, folks, it's really it's a relief to see that he's walking and he seems to be okay. He probably won't play the rest of the game, but and I guarantee you he's sitting down there really wanting to get into this. There he is on the screen up there by the coaching staff. But the way they carried him off of here in that first quarter, it didn't look too good.
Well, the fact that he was limping just a few minutes ago also tells you that he's not ready to come back in. And you don't want to do anything that is going to jeopardize the rest of the games this season or this talented young man.
As we get set to start the third quarter play, the Crabbers will kick off as Kyle Valiant sets the ball up on a tee. And he will be kicking off deep to, it looks like number 24 back there, Daquan, right? No, that's Rio Walker standing right at his own 15-yard line in the middle of the field. So here we go to start the third quarter play with the Bruins out front, 13-7. Anytime you want to come in, Bob, just give us a holler.
Do that, fellas. Appreciate it.
In the meantime, put your glasses back on so you can see.
Walker at the 14. Let's see. He's down to the 30, 35. He gets away, and nice run back all the way down to about the 42-yard line as he's brought down, I believe, by number 7. That's Jason Mango Graves of the Crabbers. Nice run back that time by Walker.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start the third quarter, I'd like to let you know that our sponsors for the third quarter are...
Why don't you let them know?
Eric Thompson Realtor, a Hampton City School alumni and former athlete. You can call Eric at 685-3127 to buy or sell a home or property. And by Zooms. Once again, David Allen and Zooms are sponsoring student athletes in Hampton. Zooms with locations throughout the peninsula to serve you. And we'll break right here while we have the play.
3 wideouts to the far side. In motion, number 7 at time, Jamal Parker. Not much there as he's going to lose about 2 yards on the play. Ball was handed off to number 36, Bennett. Okay, so he's going to lose about 2 yards on the play back to the 40, second down and 12 for the Bruins.
Here's the replay as you see the defensive player number 33 come in and meet that player right there as he got the ball. That was
Daquan McCutcheon.
Did a great job there.
Offside by the... Oh, my goodness. They didn't throw a flag on that?
Saw it right there on our screen, ladies and gentlemen.
Didn't throw a flag, so... Anyhow, the quarterback for Bethel, Manley, takes the ball, takes the snap, and goes to the 45-yard line. He's going to pick up about 5 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 7 for Bethel. Now, I tell you what, I thought he jumped. Well, all he has to do is get to the line. As soon as he touched that line, he was offsides.
Tried to hold himself up.
As soon as he touched that 40-yard line, folks, he would have been offsides. But they didn't call it. There's that pass out there again. It's going to be a little bit. No, the side judge over there is calling that a forward pass, so it'll be incomplete as it was intended for Jamal Parker, number 7. So that'll bring up a 4th down now for the Bethel Bruins.
That quick offense there is making it hard for me to get these sponsors in, ladies and gentlemen. More sponsors, Kelly's Tavern. Good food at good prices. Bring the entire family to enjoy one of their delicious meals at Port Warwick off Jefferson Avenue in Newport News or Coliseum Drive at Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. And by Tidewater Team Sports, located at 11839B Cannon Boulevard in Oyster Point, Newport News. Tidewater Team Sports offers screen painting, embroidery, uniforms, and apparel. Give them a call at 594-0411.
Well, Scott Hagler was in there to punt the ball for the Bruins. He took the snap and put his knee on the ground going down for the ball, and the ball's down at that point. So the Crabbers pick a break here as the Crabbers were going to start 1st and 10 from the Bruin 34-yard line as the Bruins did not get the snap or the kickoff. Watch him go down into his knee.
Goes down right there. He's down.
Johnny on the spot, our referee.
Johnny on the spot.
Johnny on the spot. Now, our referee called it and was standing right next to him when he did it. 1st and 10 for the Crabbers at the 34-yard line. There's a handoff up the middle to the Crabbers, number 11 on the play, Bonnie Haney, as he's inside the 30 down to about the 27-yard line. Nice little gain on the play for the Crabbers.
Just a straight quick handoff right off tackle as he picks up the short yardage that they need.
43, Alex Payton on the stop for the Bruins, and that'll bring up a 2nd down and just under 5. Call it 2nd and 4.
You know, Mike, I think if the Crabbers can just take some short runs off tackle either way, pick up some yards, get a 1st down, it'll calm them down and get them where they need to be.
Nice move to the outside. Breaks free and gets enough yards for the 1st down on the play. If it was
like number 21, that's who it was, number 21.
Number 21,
for the
that's Chris Caver. Good for the 1st down. So that'll be inside the 25 down to about the 22. So, you know, if Hampton can control the ball.
Yes. That's the key.
That is Hampton's first down.
Oh, I can't believe that. Brent Musgrove has said it, ladies and gentlemen. Their first down.
Crabbers hand the ball off up the middle, down to about the 20.
Here's the type of football that the Crabbers need to play, and they're doing it right now. Their line is opening the holes. Their line is beating the Bruin defensive linemen to the punch, getting them pushed back on their heels, opening up small holes, and the backs are able to pick up the yardage now.
Chris Caver on the carry for the Crabbers. Pickup of about 3. We'll call it 2nd down and 7.
I want to ride him as long as you can right here and see what he can do. Chris Caver's doing a good job.
Time's handed off to the 1st back, number 11 on the play, and that's Monty Haney again.
He might have lost the ball.
And he fumbles the ball away, and the Bruins will take over at their own 20-yard line. So fumble number 3 for the Crabbers. Goodness gracious.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there seems to be a theme reoccurring here as we watch this handoff, and you'll see the runner take a cut there. Right there, I think the ball got stripped by number 33 as it went down on the ground. Yes, it was. And I think it was picked up by the Bruins' number 11, Ira Harris.
1st and 10 for Bruins at the 20-yard line. Manley in the shotgun. Hands the ball off to Bennett up the middle. It's near the 25. That'll be a gain of about 5.
That's old school run. I like this Bennett kid. That's old school. He just grabs the ball, covers it up, wraps it up, puts his head down, and goes forward and picks up some yards. I love that.
What you got, Bob?
Number 41, Miller of the Crabbers making
North and south.
There he is, right there. Watch this. Just puts his head down and bowls into the line.
Bennett again right up the middle, and he barrels his way up near the 29-yard line. Might be a little bit short of a first down. That'll bring up a 3rd down and short now for the Bruins, less than a yard. We'll call it 3rd down and 1. Again, no huddle. 2 wideouts to the near side. Looks like they're going to set up with 1 to the far side. They're in the I formation. Bennett in the tailback slot. DeQuan Wright is the fullback in this position. And Wright moved just a little early. That one might cost him about 5. So that'll make it a 3rd down and 6 now.
That one was hard to hide, wasn't it?
And he looked like he was trying to stop so hard that he almost fell down.
Yeah. He knew as soon as he picked up and started to move, it was, oh, no.
So 3rd down and 6 now for the Bruins as the ball sits inside the Bruin 25. 3 wideouts again, 2 to the near side. Again, same setup as the last play. Bennett is the tailback. And Bennett gets the ball. Nothing going there as he stopped right there at the line of scrimmage. Good defense that time by the Crabbers number 33, Taquan McCutcheon. Gain of a couple only, and so that'll bring up 3rd down and 4 as the Bruins are going to be forced into punting formation. Looks like number 89 going in there to might be number 68. Scott Hagler, that is who the punter is for the Bruins. Waits the snap now. Punt off, nice little punt, line drive type kick, taken at the 36-yard line by the Crabbers, and I believe that's number 7 on the carry, Jason Mango Graves.
Is correct, sir.
Got some good yards on the play from the 36 out to the, looks like the Bruin 49. 1st and 10 for Hampton. Wait to see where they mark it, and the officials are still standing over there. Looks like there is a flag on the play. Like illegal use of the hands on the Crabbers, so that's going to cost them. That'll push them back. It's another penalty against the Crabbers. And if it's not a penalty, it's a fumble. If it's not a fumble, it's a penalty. It seems like it's just going back and forth.
It is, and with all, well, we're making the call there, but as we see all of this going on, the slipping and the sliding and the ripping and the gliding, look at that shot of the field right there. You can see it's holding up well. You don't see any divots in there too bad.
Actually, the field looks pretty good considering all the rain we've had.
It looks great. It looks great. And Scotty's just telling us they got another game on this on Saturday. Let's hope the rain holds off for a while so it'll dry up a little bit. But I'll tell you what, I wouldn't have a problem playing a game on Saturday right now. Except if I did, it would be Friday, wouldn't it?
That's right.
So I can't do that. So
1st and 10, Hampton at their own 40. 3 wideouts, 2 to the far side, 1 to the near in the I formation. Hands the ball off to the lead runner, and I believe that's number 11, gets away, and that's Monty Haney down the right sideline as he's all the way down inside the 35 down to about the 32-yard line of Bethel.
Monty Haney was stopped at about the line of scrimmage. As we watch this, you'll see right there he stopped. He bounces back, goes off to the right. He's able to beat the corner to the corner and gets downfield before he's pushed out of bounds.
And he dove for about 4 yards, didn't he?
Well, I'm not sure whether he dove or whether he got pushed there at the very end.
First and 10, Hampton at the Bethel 32. So Hampton threatening again here in the third quarter.
That was a big play for Hampton right now in this series.
That Wofford pitches the ball back to the Crabbers. And that's number 21 on the carry. That's their main running back, Chris Caver. Done a good job so far this year for the Crabbers.
I'm surprised they're still pitching the ball with the weather and the fact that they've been losing the handle on it here, but they got some yardage on that one, so you can't knock it.
You know, that grass, I'll tell you what, the field maintenance crew here at Darling Stadium has done
a great job.
Outstanding job this year, because this area is about 7-8 inches already above above normal, and so we've had a lot of rain here. There's a pass that was intended for the Crabbers. I believe it's number 18 on the play. No, it's number 10. And that's Justin Ricks, and the pass was behind him.
He had plenty of time back here and got the pass off, and you can see Ricks just slips and falls. So,
and he was open, too.
Yeah, as good as the field looks, I guess it is a little slippery down there. You often wonder, what would it be like if we had that turf that we were hoping we'd get a couple of years ago. Wouldn't be worrying about tomorrow's game, would they?
Oh, or any other game after that. Third down now and long for the Crabbers. Watford gives them a hard count and pulls the Bruins offside.
And they were all coming, too.
Boy, that's going to move them up 5 yards, and that'll bring up a third down and 2, which is a lot more manageable than a third down and 7 or 8, I'll tell you.
Sure was. I don't know what they did out there to activate that, but they got the Bruins a-coming, and the Bruins were in the blitz. So
third down and a long 2 now for the Crabbers. The ball sits at right at the Bethel 24. Wide to the right for the Crabbers is Graves, Mango Graves for Hampton. And the ball off to the deep back. It's Caver for the Crabbers. Gets the ball down near the 22. Close to the first down. Just depends on where they mark it at. They're already giving it to them.
I'm surprised he got that far.
Ball sits right dead on the 22-yard line. First and 10 for Hampton.
Watch this. As he comes to the right side there, he stopped. And watch this. He just appears out of the middle of that crowd.
Never went down. He kept forcing his legs forward. And
well, that's what you've got to do. Just keep your legs. And you learn that when you play football. You just keep driving your legs.
Well, with the ground as wet as it is, the defense is having just as much trouble trying to get traction as the offense would. So,
yeah, and I would think the offense would have an advantage because they know where they're going.
Right. Aver again this time gets outside. Nice block, and down he goes after a pickup of about 5 on the play. That was a nice tackle on the play. Nice open field tackle.
Looked like he was going to get a big break here when he had a good block that took out 2 men. But unfortunately, as you watch it, when you get the good block right in here, he cuts into the block. If he'd have cut to the outside there, he'd have probably got 1 or 2 more yards. Not too many, but
Haney did a good job getting that lead block for him. It picked up about 5 on the play. Call it second down and 5. Ball sits right at about the 17-yard line as the Crabbers continue to drive here late in the third quarter of play, trailing 13-7 to Bethel. Haney on the carry, nothing there, back to the line of scrimmage, and that's just about it.
It looked like number 13, Gaston Ledford, was in there quickly to grab the runner.
So third down and about 5, we'll call it.
Hello.
I'd like to see them carry the ball wide left this time. They got a lot of field around here, and with the speed of the Crabbers' backs, they may be able to get around it.
They might, but I think they're worried about the traction. You'd rather go north-south than east-west with the traction that you've got.
Let's see what they do.
Pass.
Well, then nothing there as the defense for the Bethel Bruins had that one pretty much bottled up. And nothing going as Watford pretty much went down on his own right at the 25-yard line. But that's a big loss.
An example of what we're saying here. They're trying to go east-west, and what happens? They lose their footing. Boom. You got to go straight ahead in this one.
So 4th down now, 13 for the Crabbers as the ball sits at the Bethel 25-yard line. Looks like the Crabbers are going to go for it.
Strong leg as their punter has. I wonder if he can kick.
Well, their
from
field
the
goal
set.
kicker can kick the ball. Back to pass is Watford being forced there, and I believe somebody on the line for the Crabbers moved early. That one might be a 5-yard penalty against the Crabbers.
Play being gloved in by the referees on the field.
Stay in the middle. Keep your eyes in the middle of the field.
And that's it.
Exactly
A
what
little
it
bit of
was,
motion early by the Crabbers, so that's going to cost them 5.
Probably a good thing, too, because he'd lost about 15.
So it's 4th and 18 now as the ball's all the way back to the 30-yard line. They need to get the ball down to about the 12 to get a first down, so they're going to have to get a really nice pass off here in order for this to work out for them. 3 wide outs to the far side. Back to pass over the right side over there, and it's short and intercepted by the Bruins. Intercepted by the Bruins, number 24, Rio Walker, as he was kind of like playing center field there, waiting for the ball to come down, as it was definitely underthrown by Watford.
Now, Rio was just back there almost in a prevent thing on the side with the trips, and when everybody went down there, he just kind of backed up, waited to see where the quarterback was going to throw.
Well,
here you see the replay right here.
Well, I thought the receiver actually was behind the defense, but it was underthrown. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Well,
he wasn't behind him. Walker was out there right where he needed to be. He had good coverage on him, and they got him.
The Bethel takes over 1st and 10 from their own 37-yard line. Keeper that time by Manley up the middle, gets near the 40-yard line. Hampton right now has 9 penalties for 65 yards in the game. Looks like they gained about 3 on the play. We'll call it 2nd down and 7 as the ball sits at the 40. Keeps the ball this time as he pulls it back out of the belly of Bennett and gets maybe a yard at best. Good defense on the Crabbers that time. They had that one covered.
I think they were looking for him to keep the ball because when Bennett went through, he would have been able to get some yardage if they'd given him the ball. Looked like they were keying.
3rd down and 5 as they actually give him 2 on the play. Key 3rd down right here for the Crabbers, trailing 13-7 with 54 seconds on the clock running here in the 3rd quarter. Trip receivers to the near side.
Quarter's going kind of quick.
Fumble.
Famous last words.
Yep. Bad snap to Manley, and he has to fall on it all the way back at his own 34-yard line. They're going to mark it at 35. So that's a loss of about 5 on the play. So it'll be bring up 4th down now and about 12 as the Bruins will go back to set up the punt. Scott Hagler for the Bruins going back now in punt formation.
And folks, if you don't think it's wet when you get the close-up shots of the players as they're going on and off the field, look at their pants. Look at that. Look how soaked they are there.
Well, they're doing something different here. They're actually going in a huddle. So Coach Nelson said something to one of the players as he was going on the field, and he called him over to stand there. And it looks like we've come to the end of the 3rd quarter of play. So that's why he didn't go, right? So at the end of 3, no score there in the 3rd quarter play. The score remains the same. The Bethel Bruins 13 and the Hampton Crabbers 7.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching LSC Live as you're watching us come from Darling Stadium, October the 16th, 2009, bringing you high school football as the Hampton Crabbers face off with the Bethel Bruins in a, would you call it wet?
I call it drenched.
Call it drenched, yeah. We're lucky. We're up here in the booth, and normally we have Bob Hintz down on the field, but he was afraid of a little bit of water out there. You know how it is when you get up in age. You just, you don't want to get wet or anything. Oh, hi, Bob.
Is your mic on?
See how windy it is out there with the rain coming down. Is that Susan? Susan, darling, how are you? She's doing a great job.
How is she? She's wet.
No.
Trying to stay dry.
She's dry. She's dry. Nathaniel Braxton's been singing over here, taking your cue here. He's singing "Raindrops Keep Falling on His Head" or something.
Oh, I like that one. Yeah. The raindrops keep falling on my head.
Scott Hagler back to punt now.
That doesn't mean the football game right here is dead. Nothing seems to work. They take the ball and fumble, then they pick it up and rumble. It's just a game.
Oh, my goodness. Sign him up.
That's the first time I've ever been impressed with your singing. But not your singing, your lyrics.
Oh, did you hear what he said? No. Scotty said we're in a 7-second delay, so nobody heard it.
Well, I can always do it again.
No.
Once is enough.
Please.
That was Jason Mango Graves on the
I'm going to take
return.
the jacket back.
First and 10 Hampton at their own 41-yard line, and it's still raining, folks. We are at the start of the fourth. It's still 13-7, Bethel.
And we're still LSC bringing this game to you live. And Bob wanted to take my jacket. I like these jackets, Bob.
They'd really come out nice, didn't they?
They did. Brent made us buy these things, so I hope he's going to pay me
Nice
back.
move by Watford as he slips away from a couple of tackles and gets near the first down.
I think he's just a hair short, Mike, but you're right. He got through a couple of tackles.
He made a couple of moves to the left and kind of slipped right on through him.
Look, he looked like
gain
me.
of about 9. Watch this replay.
Yeah, he looks like me when I was younger and didn't have a bad back.
Went to the left and then cut to the right.
Yeah.
I hate to say this, Paul, but you never were that good.
Wishful thinking,
but I
right?
could sing.
Yeah, oh, yes.
Second in the yard. Ball sitting at midfield. There goes Haney off the left side. Good for about 6. Out inside the 45-yard line. That's good for a Crabber. First down.
The Crabbers just have to make sure they don't make any mistakes right here. Twice in this quarter, they have had good drives, sustained drives, where they've continuously been able to pick up yards, and then boom, lose the football.
Do you by chance have a squeegee that you can go out here and clean his windows so we can see the game?
Brent's asking me if I had a squeegee. But, you're right. They always make mistakes. If it's not a fumble, it's a turnover or it's a penalty. They're hurting them, shooting themselves in the foot tonight. Talking about the Crabbers.
Watford on the keeper that time. He was lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, slipping and sliding there. It looks like the...
I want that blanket.
Why? It looks wet.
I'm cold.
Up here?
I want that up here. See, I don't look out that window anymore. I always watch the screen.
Can't see out the window now.
I can't see out anyway.
Then what do you want to
But watch the screen. Look at this. Yes. Seniors.
No gain on the play. Second down at 10 for the Crabbers at the Bethel 44. Watford back to pass over the middle. Completed and dropped. My goodness, the Crabbers are having a hard time catching the ball. That time it was the receiver, Denzel Bennett.
They've had a lot of passes to open receivers that were not caught.
And again, I attribute that to a wet ball partially because
right
these guys normally are going to hold on to this ball. And Wofford's been putting it right in the arms. I feel bad for him. I really do. He could have had a lot of passing yards tonight.
So third down and 10 now for the
And to
Crabbers.
be able to do that with a wet ball is quite
great.
remarkable.
Oh, you're telling me. He did a super job of getting that ball out there like that. Better than
Watford on a screen pass, and there's nothing there. And I tell you what, that might have been a backwards pass there. I like to see where he threw that in relation to where the ball actually hit the receiver, because the receiver was behind the quarterback.
I think it was more of a swing pass than a screen, though. That one's out to the flats.
Yeah.
Watch this again as he rolls out. That's behind him.
Yeah, it was. That should have been a backwards pass.
That's behind him.
That's pretty close.
Yep. I guess it depends on where they were standing, huh?
Yeah, that's a judgment call, you know.
So fourth down and 10 as the Crabbers now will punt the ball away. Kyle Valiant.
Well, you know, you got to allow for wind when you throw that ball.
And rain in this case. Good gracious.
Rio Walker on the reception and nothing there as he's going nowhere but backwards on that one.
Good thing you get forward progress, Mike.
Yeah, good coverage by the special teams for Hampton on that play. Walker didn't have a lot of room to do much with it once he got the ball there. 1st and 10 now for Bethel. Down inside the, looks like the 19-yard line, their own 19.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see this game again, please watch it on Saturday, October the 17th at 7 p.m., Tuesday, October the 20th at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., and Thursday, October the 22nd at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m.
That's tomorrow night.
What is?
The 17th.
Yes,
that's tomorrow night.
Yes.
So everybody watching tonight could watch it again tomorrow night.
Well,
they can tell their friends.
Tell their friends.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, fumble. Look at them battling down there trying to get to that ball. And this is a key play right here. Looks like Bethel got it back, luckily for the Bruins, because that's down on the 20-yard line. Of course, Bethel's defense has done a pretty good job stopping Hampton today.
Yeah. By the way, I want to take this time. The guys in the truck wanted to make sure we gave a shout out to the FOP. I think that's the Friends of the Police Department. No. Fraternal Friends of the Police. I always say Friends of the Police, and Brent looks at me like I'm half crazy.
It's timeout by Bethel. Friends of the Police.
Friends of the Police.
Fraternal Order of Police.
Brent's going to smack me here if he can reach this far. We'd like to give a shout out to them and thank them for watching tonight's game. And if you're listening to this Fraternal Order of Police, my name is Mike Hauser. So when I'm going home tonight, I'm in a green. What do I have?
What was this about this
Chevy?
maroon Accord that was being towed? You said you were going to try to get it out of hock tonight? Nah.
God, that's the first new car I've bought in 12 years. Yeah.
Oh, man. 9:27 to go here in the game. 13-7. Bethel still out in front as the Bruins called timeout.
And we hope you've enjoyed watching this game. I know it's not over. We got about 9 minutes and 27 seconds to go. But obviously we're enjoying it here. We're having a lot of fun. We're watching a great game with two teams that are not only battling each other, they're battling the elements tonight. And I'll tell you what, the elements are winning.
As evidenced by how many turnovers we've had so far? We had 9 in the first half.
We've had more turnovers than Bob Hinch lying in bed with a bad back trying to get it straightened out. Oh, right, that's me.
I'm the one you mailed the training wheels to.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. I plead the fifth.
You're the fifth?
Talk to my friends of the police.
A gain of about 3 on the play. 3rd down and 6 now for the Bruins. And doesn't look like they've got any wideouts set up this time. Looks like they've got 3 guys in the backfield.
Oh, there's 4.
Well, not including the quarterback.
Oh.
And that's what it is.
They're running out of time,
they're in the
too.
stack. And kind of seems a little strange that they had all that time. Hampton's had, 3 delay game calls?
Yes. And Bethel, I don't think has had any.
That is a 4th down now for the Bruins, a gain of about a yard on that play.
You were talking about the Friends, FOP. We just want to give a shout out down there to Walt and to Rick, because they're the ones that's got your car's license number. They know what you drive. They know where you're going.
Who was it? Who?
Here's the Crabbers at the 40-yard line. If he gets a block, he's got the whole sideline to go. Down the side, nice defensive play that time. That was Jason Mango Graves for the Crabbers taking the ball at the 40, all the way back to where the Bruins had to get a first down near the 30. Great field position for the Crabbers here.
And they're running out of time and running out of yardage here, so.
4-yard return there for the Crabbers. Ball on the Bruins 31-yard line, 1st and 10. Just under 8 minutes left.
Well, I just want to make sure Walt and Rick know that I don't own a car.
You ride a bike?
I ride Bob's bike that he wrecked, and a long
That's what he did when he took
home.
those training wheels off he wrecked. Is that it?
Yes.
Well, I put them back on for Paul.
Thanks.
Not much of anything on that play. Second down and 10 as the ball sits at the 31.
Who had to run that ball that time, Mike?
Don't know because I didn't even see him run it. I was laughing at the.
I have a name. I have a name.
I was laughing at your wheels.
Nobody caught it.
Hampton needs to control here.
Watford back to pass. Down the sidelines. I can't tell. Did he catch it?
Yes, he
did.
caught it.
Hey, we got one.
That's number 12.
That's number 12 for the Crabbers, and that's Danson Bennett. And Bennett's all the way down to about the 3-yard line. So the Crabbers knocking on the door here, first and goal from the 3.
You got a penalty on the field down here on the 34-yard line.
Great catch, a sliding catch.
Well,
he keeps it from hitting the ground. That good use of hands and body there.
Well, it's coming back, folks.
Oh, man.
It's on Bethel's sideline, then how come the penalizing the
Well, the penalty was an illegal shift by the Crabbers is what they call it. I'd like to see this one again. See if we got enough of the snap of the ball to be able to see if somebody shifts. Did they get set? Let's see.
There
Did they
it
get
is right
set?
there. There it is right there. Right at the bottom of your screen. Right at the bottom of the screen.
He didn't get set in time, so 5 yards back. Second down and 15 for the Crabbers.
Watch. They're moving. Yeah. They're still moving.
You got to be set for a second.
Yes, you do.
Watford back to throw again.
We'll try the same.
Oh, he got plastered that time. Out of Bruins number 49.
49 there for the Bruins.
And that is Robert Copeland.
Looked like number 11, Ira Harris, in there as well. Both of them came flying right in. Watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Right. Here they come. Boom.
That was actually number 11, Harris, that got him first. Big loss all the way back to the Bruins' 44-yard line. So third down and long now. They got to go all the way down to about the 21-yard line to get a first down.
And he waited just a little too long because there was a man open in the end zone.
He was looking in the same area he was before.
Yep.
And had it.
Deep down the left sideline on this play. It's knocked out of the way by the Bruins' number 7 incomplete pass, Jamal Parker. Great job by defense that time.
Same play.
Same play, right?
3 in a row there going for that same man. I guess that's one where you go back to huddle and say, I can beat him. I'm free. Get it to me. And Wofford's going there again.
And it was underthrown again.
Well, not much. That was
Another
a pretty
penalty?
good pass. That's a pretty good pass. Good defense.
Yes.
Looked like they got another penalty here. As we see, watch this. He gets up there. Does he get part of it?
Holding on the penalty.
The holding was called on the Crabbers. They declined it, so it's 4th down and long. Yeah, it's good defense right there.
Yeah, you can see him get his hand up there and just bat that thing away. There's a good chance that he may have caught it. Now we got 4th and a lot.
4th down and 23 for the Crabbers as they will set the punt. And back deep is Rio Walker, number 24, as he stands just inside his own 20.
Crabbers are going to need some good coverage on this and hold them and see if they can get the ball back.
Kicks the ball to the near side as Rio Walker tells all of his players to get out of the way, and it's down at the Bruin 15. 5:54 to go here in the 4th quarter. The Bethel Bruins out in front still by the same score as it was at halftime, 13-7.
You're watching LSC, October the 16th, 2009, Friday Night Football. Paul Rowe along with Mike Hauser, Bob Hintz, and Brent Musgrove. We're bringing you this game from Darling Stadium in the rain.
Don't sing.
You could feel it coming, couldn't you?
I could see it in the rain.
I could tell it was coming.
Here it comes.
I'm singing in the rain.
Bennett on the handoff up the middle, a couple yards on that one, and that's about it.
The only way you're allowed to sing that one is you have to dance too.
No, he's got to be in it.
The funny thing is, when I was a kid, I danced to that one at the Sandy Vossler School of Dance recital. Ha!
I tell you what we ought to do.
Go
Hey,
there.
Bob, give him the remote mic. Let him go out there in the rain. He could do all the dancing he wants.
There you go, dancing up and down the sideline.
You done found yourself a new job.
Oh, I got lots of jobs.
Uh-oh, fumble on the play, and looks like Bennett just falls on the ball right there.
Yeah, careful.
So the Bruins fall back on the ball at the 15. That'll bring it up to a 3rd down and 10. They got to get the ball to the 25 to get a first down. Watch this.
How many bad snaps have they had?
It really wasn't that
tonight?
bad a snap. He just dropped it.
It was low. It was low. If
Seven bad snaps.
Seven bad snaps. If I'm the quarterback, you better get that ball right in my hands. I'm the quarterback.
But he's the athlete.
Well, it doesn't matter. You're supposed to put that thing in my hands.
Okay. Let's see what happens this time. He almost fumbled that one as it's handed off to on the end around to Jamal Parker as he is down at about the 18-yard line. He's well short of the first down, so Bethel again will be forced to punt it.
Yeah.
So that would go as a fumble, but it was a recovered fumble, but still.
That's that wingback coming around from in motion.
4th and 7. Back deep for the Crabbers is Jason Mengo Graves again. A short kick this time. Let's see if it makes sure it doesn't touch anybody.
Somebody?
As it's downed at the Bethel 41-yard line. And right here in the 4th quarter, folks, we've played most of this game in Bethel's end of the.
Really have. We only got 4 minutes to go, Mike.
Yeah, we're down to 4:01 to go. And
Hampton's not going to have many more chances. This is
what their 3rd chance inside of Bethel territory now here in the 4th.
But boy, had the penalties killed them. That you get a reception down in the 30-yard line.
They have a 1st and goal inside the 5.
And then you come back because you got a guy that can kick the extra point, and it's Skylar Hutchinson. So that's just been a error after error on the Crabbers tonight.
I think they're going to be trying to pass, it looks like anyway. I just try some grinding out. If they can stand the defenders up for Bethel and get a little crease there, they can get through it. Just like this.
Well, you know what they did? They spread them out to open up that area. Is this what you're talking about?
Hand off that time to number 5, or that was actually Watford on the keeper.
Yeah.
He didn't hand off. He just run the ball.
Well, he faked the handoff.
He faked the handoff.
Did a good job, too. Watch
this. Gained 7 yards on the play.
He puts it right in there and pulls it out.
Look at that hole. You could run through that hole.
No, I couldn't.
I wasn't talking.
Oh, you were talking to Paul. Okay.
No, I'm talking to Twinkle Toes here.
In my day, I could do that.
Mike couldn't drive through it, I guess.
Hey, whoa. Yes, they will. My goodness. So let's see. That's the handoff this time to Monty Haney's. He's going to pick up a 1st down, provided that there's not a penalty flag on the field. And it doesn't look like it, so it looks like the Crabbers have a 1st and 10.
Well, that's what you got to do after every play is look and see if there's any yellow flags on it.
Well, that's what we have to. I mean, that's what stopped them so far in this entire second half.
You're right there.
So 1st and 10. I believe the ball is sitting at the Bethel 26. This might be the Crabbers' last shot at trying to get back in this game. Watford back to pass, being flushed out, and look out. Oh, he gets away, and he might pick up a yard or two, and that's about it as he gets down near the 26-yard line.
Well, he's lucky he didn't lose more yards than that. It's just hard to hold those blocks for any length of time as slick as it is out there.
Exactly, and you've run the ball, picked up yardage, picked up a 1st down. Why go back to throw the ball when the last 4 times you've done it?
Well, they had 2 interceptions. Now, it's
I don't know.
2nd down and 11 as they lost a yard on the play. I actually thought he got back to the line of scrimmage, but they set it back a yard. Watford back to pass. Oh, he was open over the middle, but he gets away from the first tackler, gets outside, and looks like he's going to pick up some good yards. He's going to be about 3 yards shy of the 1st down as looks like they're going to mark it at about the 20.
Well, Mike, there's only 2:06 to go, and he ran out of bounds, so he stopped the clock, which was a good thing.
That was a smart thing to do.
Crabbers still have all 3 of their timeouts here in the second half. They had them dead right there. Gets outside, gets down near the 20-yard line where he goes out of bounds, stopping the clock, as Bob mentioned.
Now he's going to have to find the receivers quicker. Bob mentioned there was an opening there. The line, I'm surprised, held the defensive line longer than they really needed to, giving him plenty of time to spot somebody downfield.
He really did that time, but his fake in the pass got number 11 off his feet, and that's why he picked up that yardage. Now we got a timeout.
Yeah, Bethel calls timeout here, and that's their 2nd, so that'll leave Bethel with 1. And That missed extra point in the first half.
Could be very, very
You mentioned that
critical.
when you missed it, that could end up being
But the Crabbers have got to score first.
yeah, they got to score first. But, you know, this is their last hurrah.
Yeah.
If they don't get it now, they're not going to get it.
Normally we could say that, yes, but with the way the ball has been flying around
Well,
here,
Hampton hasn't had to
anything
use
could
any of their
happen.
timeouts yet either,
Right.
so that's helped a lot.
Right, so even if they turn the ball over to the Bruins, they can at least stop the clock each time
Right.
and then make them and then go for the block.
Because Bethel has not moved the ball in the second half. Hampton's defense has done a pretty good job.
Yes, they have.
I'd say they've done an excellent
But
job.
you made
Hampton's
the point
offense-
earlier that they've been playing in Bethel's end of the field all
That's right.
second half.
And the only thing that's really hurt Hampton, or the main thing that's hurt Hampton, is they've killed themselves with penalties.
I agree.
Well, let's see what they do, guys.
3rd and 4. Watford on a keeper. Gets through the little slot there, and he's down just inside the 20-yard line. He's going to be about 2 or 3 yards shy of the first down, so a key play here.
Well, this is not punt territory or field goal territory, that's for sure. Wofford took that ball himself, put the onus right on his own shoulders to get the yardage.
And I'm
He had
not
a
sure why
nice
he didn't
little
call
hole
timeout.
closed.
Excuse me, Paul. I didn't
That's
mean
all
to
right.
talk over the top of you, but the clock is running. 20 seconds have gone off the clock since they ran that play.
Well, this is the play of the game right here, folks. Right now, 4th down and a long 2 for the Crabbers, as they need to get the ball down near the 15 for the first down.
Bruins flooding the zone there.
There's a pitch out. Oh, nice block. Nice lead block that allowed Haney to get all the way down near the 10.
Right at about the 11 and a half yard line.
Yep, looks like they're going to mark it at the 12, and that was a great job.
Yes, it was. Looked like
That
the
lead
Bruins,
block did it for him.
Looked
Let me
like the
ask you-
Bruins had him stopped. Watch it. Here it comes right
Yeah.
there. Here's the pitch. There's a good block right there. Here's another one.
But a good cut. How many times have you seen the option run tonight?
I think that's the second.
Right.
That's right.
And it's hard to run an option with the ball this slick, but caught Bethel unaware.
Yes, it did.
1st and 10, ball sits at the 12-yard line for the Crabbers as we're under a minute to go. The Crabbers still have 3 timeouts, folks.
Ice hole.
Watford up the middle. Looks like Smith is calling for a timeout here. And they
got
are
37
given one, but another 10 seconds after the ball was down, then the referees finally called timeout. I could see Smith on the sidelines trying to get him to call timeout, but it's down to 37 seconds to go. Ball sits, inside the 10, at about the, 9.5? So that's Hampton's first timeout. They've got time here. They got the timeouts to help, but they've got to be able to get the ball moving.
They're either going to have to use those timeouts and pound the middle, which I think they can probably do, or they're going to have to get outside, get some yardage, and then go out of bounds.
Watch for that pitch play again.
Well, it's kind of a dangerous play, but you're right. If you're having trouble going north and south, sometimes you got to go a little bit west before you cut it upfield. But I tell you, when you pitch the ball when it's wet like this,
Yeah, you have a tendency to want to drop it.
well, and these are just young kids. You have to understand. You know, they're anxious and they're excited, and anything can happen.
And they want
They
to
got
win.
the field stretched this time with 3 wideouts, 2 to the far side, a single setback, back to passes. Watford, he takes the ball, runs
There
up
it
the
is.
middle. He's in for the score. As the Crabbers
wow.
will tie the score 13-13 with 31 seconds to go. Is there any flags?
No, there's no flag. But that was a called play. It was a quarterback draw. Is exactly what it was.
So with 31 seconds to go here in regulation, the score is tied at 13-all.
It's a replay.
As soon as he went back and he tucked that ball, my brain just went Ronald Curry all over again, because you could see the field open right in front of him.
Give kudos to the Hampton offensive line, as they did an outstanding job opening up the middle of the hole.
the defense out by putting 2 wideouts on the left side, 1 on the right. And then if you notice, the linemen took bigger splits.
Yes, they did. They did.
So that just opened up everything. What a great call.
So the Crabbers will attempt to take the lead with the extra point. They did call timeout here. Did you hear Andy?
No, I missed Andy. Probably a good thing I missed Andy.
All right, here we go. Can't see the number of the gentleman that is hitting the extra point.
Well, that's Skylar Hudgens, number 40.
40, okay. I couldn't tell.
Big moment from ground level. It's
and
a
this
great
young
camera
man
shot.
Can kick the ball. There's the snap, the hold. It is blocked. The kick is blocked, and it is no good. And the Crabbers will kick off now, and it's tied 13-13.
We go to overtime.
What do we say, overtime?
Overtime she is.
And ladies and gentlemen, if we do go into overtime, you might want to take this opportunity to run to the refrigerator and get another drink and a sandwich or some chips or something and come on back, because we're going to stay right here. We're not going to leave until it's over.
You know what happens in overtime? Can you explain what happens in overtime?
Well, there'll be a coin flip. No, it was a bad kick. It was a bad kick.
Bad snap.
What a great replay. Let's try to, if we can show that one more time, you'll notice that the ball, when he kicked it, it went right straight into the player's back.
But it was a snap.
Okay.
And the hold.
Here we go. Let's watch it again.
Watch right here, right underneath the guy's legs. He tries to get the ball down, and boom, it's gone.
The snap looked good. The holder
There's the ball
dropped
right there.
He let go of the ball.
The holder actually dropped it.
The snap was up high when he brought it down. He couldn't hang on to it. And then he's just squibbing it along the ground.
So the Crabbers will set up and kick the ball off. Bethel will have at least one play to try to win it before the end of the game. Otherwise, we will be heading to overtime, and we'll try to explain the overtime rules here. Each team will be, if we get to the overtime, each team will have the ball 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. There'll be no running clock. They will have
You're saying 25-yard line. This isn't college.
What is it?
It's not the 25. I think it's a 10-yard line.
I think it's the 10.
Is it the 10? Okay.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
Way out of
little pooch kick. You're right. I'm sorry. That is correct. And looks like Hampton might have been offside. That's right. It is the 10-yard line.
Yeah. And then each team will have
four downs.
4 downs to either score touchdown or kick a field goal, and then the other team gets it. So if you're the coach and they flip the coin and you get your choice, what do you want?
You want the ball. You want defense first.
Right.
That's
you
right.
want defense
You
first.
want to have the opportunity to know what you got to do.
Thank you.
But what if you're on defense first and you intercept the pass and run it back for a touchdown?
That's
11 penalties for 75 yards on the Crabbers. That's 5 more they just tacked on for being offside on the kickoff. Why would you be offsides on a pooch kick?
Because you were across the line.
But you want to go over and get the ball.
Well, here we go again. Hutchinson kicks it off deep this time as the ball is kicked all the way down inside the 5. Here's Walker down out to the 20, and he will be tackled at about the 22-yard line. So about 8 seconds went off the clock, and there are 23 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. So the Bruins can do one of two things: put the ball up and try, or take a kneel and let the clock run out.
Well, if they take a knee,
then we're going to overtime.
They say, okay, we're going to overtime. If you go back to pass, the ball slips out of your hand.
Well, that's what they're going to do. They're going to go. They're going to go to a knee.
Let's go to overtime. That's the smart move. That's a smart move.
Bethel has been able to run the ball with Bennett up the middle in short yardage situations. So 10 yards I consider short yardage, and they're going to have to force Hampton's defensive.
All right, we'll have a short timeout where the officials will get together, and then they'll get together with the 2 captains, and they'll flip the coin just like they did at the beginning of the game.
That's correct.
And the winner has a choice. And this is the time, Mike, that you and I talked about this before. You want to defer. You want to be on defense first.
Well, so that's the end of the 4th quarter, and regulation is gone, and we're tied 13-13. So we're back to where we started at the beginning of the game.
Yes, we are. Live from Darling Stadium, it's Friday Night Football.
We're not going to do a repeat.
Not right. This guy ain't right.
You said we're right back where we started.
We're not going to have an instant replay and he starts singing too, are we?
I can do
You
that.
shouldn't have said it. I've learned not to mention that at all. Well, so we're going to go into overtime here. This is the first overtime game of. I don't believe we had any last year either, did we?
No, we didn't. Nope, we sure did not. It's been quite a while since we've had an overtime game.
Well, if we can get Brent to tell us how many total turnovers in this game by both teams would be very interesting.
Didn't you see Brent throw his calculator against the wall a little while ago?
No, that was because it was time.
He just quit.
That was because his stopwatch didn't work.
Well, we had 9 turnovers in the first half. Hampton threw a couple interceptions in the second half. Bethel fumbled the ball at least twice in the second half. So, I mean, my goodness, have we been having some turnovers tonight.
You know, you almost hate to say it, but I would have loved to have seen this game in good weather conditions. It really would have been an interesting game. We've had some great players out there, some good kids who are giving everything they have. And then, of course, we had the injury to Deion Futch, and I think that has been a big factor in this game. We'll never know for sure. But that kid's an athlete. He does it all, and he wasn't out there. He was out there for, what, the first quarter?
Well,
and that was it.
He wasn't even out there for the whole first quarter. He was only out there half of the first quarter.
You give us a good playing field tonight with good weather, and I'm saying he probably doesn't get hurt, you know?
Well, that's you never know when you're going to get hurt and what's the conditions. But understand that if he wasn't hurt, and some of these runners that broke through for Hampton and picked up 10, 12 yards, Deion would have picked up more than that. Because he can make, he's low enough and he's shifty enough that he lowers.
And quick enough.
Right. And I think he would probably had a big game.
And I agree with you. Well, the thing of it is, we'll never know, but I agree with that.
But Hampton's offense uses Deion Futch more as a receiver than they do as a running back.
Yeah, but look at this, how much yardage he's got running the ball.
Yes.
Give him the ball. They want the ball in his hands.
That's the main thing. They give him a little swing pass out there and put him one-on-one with this cornerback, and he's going to get some yardage.
Well, hopefully for the Crabbers, he'll be okay and be ready to go for the remainder of the season.
I agree, too. We sit up here in the booth and we see these kids get hurt, off the air. We talk about, this is really bad. It's not just bad that he's not going to be able to play, but this kid's hurt, period. And we hate to see anybody get hurt, especially when they're playing a game that they love. So, ladies and gentlemen, go get yourself another Coke and another bag of chips or whatever it is you're going to eat. Somebody down in the truck's going to have to run out and get Scotty something. I know he's hungry right now. Come on.
Give Scotty a break. Only I am allowed to.
He's looking for the treats, okay.
And don't forget that we're hungry up here too. So anybody wants to run up here and bring us some food, well, we'd greatly appreciate that.
It's not a chance in you know
Hampton
what.
coaches did not know what happened on that extra point. They did not know that the ball fell over.
Oh yeah,
so they were asking
it looked
me
like
about that.
it looked like it was a high snap.
Right.
But
it looked like
in good weather, it would have been okay. But it looked like he probably lost a little bit of it as he was bringing it down.
He did.
And after he set it on the ground, it just fell over.
Yeah. He just like it slipped out of his hands or something. I'm not sure what happened, but this is interesting. I wish he'd turn on his microphone so we could hear him what he's doing.
So the Golden Horseshoe is on Bethel's side right now after that. Here's a replay. Watch the replay of the extra point.
Yeah.
The ball was snapped a bit on the high side.
We've got great camera crew. Look at the shot they get right here. Here comes the ball. It goes down. Now watch as he puts it down. It slips right out of his hands and falls. And it is down flat on the ground when he kicks it.
Yeah.
Well, Hampton won the toss and elected to go on the offense. That's what it looked to me.
No. Bethel won the toss.
Well, the referee went over and put his hand on the Hampton player, did this, and then he went like this.
Yeah, because they went on offense. They didn't get the choice. They didn't get a choice.
Okay. But I was under the impression that when the referee, after they do the coin toss, put them in the position they are, the first thing the referee does is go and touch the shoulder of the team who won the toss, and then he would wave an incomplete pass if they deferred.
But this is overtime. They do exactly the opposite.
Okay.
And they're not starting from the 25, Mike.
Yeah, they're starting from the 10. That's right. So here we go, 1st and 10. Overtime, folks.
Now, Mike, what are they going to try and do from the 10-yard line?
They're going to try to score.
They're going to try and score.
And they get 4 downs to do it. unless there's a penalty.
If they score on the first down, can they try again on the second down?
Well, they can try for the extra point.
Okay.
So here we go. They got them spread again. And again, Wofford takes the ball up the middle, cuts to the inside, and gets inside the 5-yard line down near the 4. That's a good gain of about 6 on first down.
And that's not a bad call again. Who's that remind you of?
Ronald Curry.
All right. And Marcus Hagens.
Yes. Both of them could run that play so well. I guess we all thought that after watching Ronald do that nobody else could do it, and then boom, along comes Marcus. And what does he do? Same thing.
I'd be very interested in knowing, what those two young men are doing right now. Neither one of them are playing in the NFL.
No, Curry had a tryout with somebody here a couple weeks ago.
Oh, they did? I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who it was.
Just
somebody
a couple
needed
days
a receiver.
ago.
Yeah, somebody needed a receiver.
There's a handoff up the middle. I believe it's Haney. If it's not Haney, then it's going to be
somebody else.
Caver. Let's see. I did not know. I don't know if it's 21 or 11. Let's wait and see.
Haney getting
It looked like it was 21. So the gain of about 6. They are 4 yards shy of the goal line, and it'll be second down. Make that third down.
Yeah, actually, he only picked up maybe got back
maybe a yard. Yeah,
about it. So it'll be third down and 4.
Yeah, Bethel defense really hunkered down right there and stopped that one. That was great defense on that.
Crabbers send 4 wideouts. They're really dividing the field up right now.
Yeah, but look at how tight they're on the center.
Yeah.
Watch.
Watford, the keeper up the middle into the end zone, and the Crabbers will take their first lead of the game in overtime. Again, Watford up the middle, for 4 yards and the score.
Crabbers not playing around on this. They found the play that worked to end the game, and they're going to make Bethel stop that play.
Watch this. Watch him hesitate.
Yep.
Right here. He's hesitating.
Look. But he's waiting for the block. Look at this great pull block right there.
It's a good trap block.
Oh, it's beautiful. Who was that, number
57?
81?
57 on Hampton's team made a great block to open that hole.
81 that came across. I think it was
all right, here we go again for the extra point. This time it's down. It's up.
And that's cast.
And it's good. So the extra point gives the Crabbers the 19 to 13 or 20 to 13 lead in overtime. And now Bethel will get the ball first and 10 at 10.
That was Matt Cass kicking the extra point. He's the one that started off kicking extra points at the beginning of the season for Crabbers.
I wonder why Hutchinson's not in there.
Look, nice catch.
They both are pretty good kickers. This young man kicked last year for him. And he's also kicking it, but he's not kicking off because he doesn't have as strong a leg as Skyler does.
So the Bruins will start at the 10-yard line just like the Crabbers did and given 4 downs to score. And they have to score a touchdown, guys. There's Bennett on the handoff up the middle for about a yard, not much more than that. They may give them 2 where they mark it at, so that'll bring up second down and goal.
That'll bring up second down.
And that play doesn't surprise me. I think that would have been the play I would have opened with. Give it to Bennett.
Well,
he's just that old school runner.
Whenever
right
they've given Bennett the ball up the middle, he's usually done a pretty good job.
Yes, he has.
Well, he's a good runner, but going straight ahead.
Give Hampton credit now. In the second half, they've done an exceptional job keeping him down.
Bethel didn't have field position either, though, Mike.
No, that's true. As a keeper.
Oh, my goodness.
He was hit hard.
I think he
got in.
I think he got in.
So here we go. An extra point will tie it and send it into a second overtime.
What a nice fake that
Great
time.
Fake.
First time we've seen that play tonight.
He spun around and went to his left, wide open, and it would have taken a pretty good defensive play to stop him. Watch this.
Now watch.
He does a great job.
Back had it.
He does an outstanding job, and he just did get in the end zone.
He got that football right over the plane.
But he does an outstanding job hiding the ball. He really does.
Yeah, I've noticed that before, that this young man that was at Warwick last year is a backup quarterback and a wide receiver at Warwick last year.
Here it is one more time.
Hampton, and, transferred into Bethel, and the Bethel have been high on him ever since he's been there. They just think he's a tremendous athlete.
Pretty good here as he stretches out to get that ball. He can smell the goal line and gets it in there. There's Jimmy Bailey.
Rashad Hanley, the quarterback we're talking about for Bethel. So the Bruins are an extra point away from tying it up, and this is a key play here.
They all key.
Well, I mean,
when you get to this point in the game,
they are.
You make a mistake now, it's all over, baby.
Well,
and the fat lady sings when they win, so that means you don't.
Hey, you know what? We haven't picked.
But I don't see any of them around here.
We have not picked players of the games yet either, buddy.
Oh my gosh!
But did you get the ones from last week?
Yes, I did.
Good for you.
Ooh.
See if the extra point is good. Kick is up. It's to the left side. He missed it. He missed the extra point wide left, and the Hampton Crabbers win this game in overtime by a score of 20-19. Oh my!
Oh baby!
And don't you feel? You got to feel for the young man that missed this extra point.
Oh, you do. You do. Somebody needs to get his head up because, oh, man, he doesn't need to carry that around at all.
Oh, my. What an outstanding game considering the inclement weather that we've had tonight. There was a lot of ups and a lot of downs that occurred in this game because, my goodness gracious, I don't know how many turnovers we had here, but it was real obvious that the weather contributed drastically to this.
There's no doubt about that, Mike. You guys picked the player of the game. This is going to be tough to do.
Well, I don't know. Here late in the game, I think it kind of made it easy for us. I really did. And you agree with those?
I do. The bottom line is that there were a lot of people that played well out there today, Mike, in spite of the weather. But the two guys that drove the team, that guided the team up and down the field, were the quarterbacks, Manley and Watford. Both of these guys, Rashad Manley and David Watford, just took the teams and moved them. They dictated the play. They did a super job. And I think without them tonight, we wouldn't have had the type of game we had.
Well, they both scored in overtime.
They sure did.
And you know,
when things look down for them.
You know, it's kind of ironic that we talked early in the game about that missed extra point. It was a missed extra point in overtime that actually won it for them. So the final score here at Darling Stadium on a wet Friday evening, the Bethel Bruins will fall in overtime to the Hampton Crabbers by a score of 20-19 as the Crabbers improve to 5-2 on the season. The Bethel Bruins will fall to 4-3. So for everybody up here, Mike Hauser along with Paul Rowe, good night, everyone.
You've been watching LSC, your local sports channel. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Zooms. We're proud to have David Allen and Zoom sponsoring us again this year. Zooms, with locations throughout the peninsula to serve you. By Kelly's Tavern, family dining with 2 locations on the peninsula. Port Warwick off Jefferson Avenue in Newport News, and their newest location on Coliseum Drive at Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. And by Tidewater Team Sports, located at 11839B Cannon Boulevard in Oyster Point, Newport News. Tidewater Team Sports is your one-stop sports headquarters for screen printing, embroidery, uniforms, and apparel. Call 594-0411 and talk to David Chubb or Terry McNamara. And in part by Beach Hardware, located at 1951 East Pembroke Avenue in the Buckrow Shopping Center. Beach Hardware is your friendly local hardware store with everything you need to maintain your home, both inside and out. And by Eric Thompson, Realtor. Contact Eric to buy or sell a home or property. Give Eric a call at 685-3127 or email him at eric@findhrhomes.com. And by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, located at 2551 North Armistead Avenue, Nancy Staten, Director. And by Coliseum Central. Get centered at Coliseum Central, where everybody goes to live and to shop. Everything you need is at Coliseum Central. Sponsors of LSC Friday Night Football.